remake ready. Got a nice cold brew in my hands. Let's get it. Ooh.
So, before you jump in, Anne, tell us a little bit about your experience with either this game or the original, or the Final Fantasy series in general.
Oh, mate. Well, for those that are tuning in or tuning in later at this, to watch this, myself and Oliver have grown up on games for a long time, and this is one of the first games, I'm talking about the original here, on PS1, one of the first games that kind of really introduced me to storytelling, and I guess the vastness that a game can have. Before that, I only ever played stuff like Croc, Legend of the Gallows, shout out Croc. But as fun as game as it was, it's not quite on the same level as Final 7, is it? Now, in saying that, I lived, breathed, and bled this game throughout my earlier and later years of primary school and high school. But
I think there are a lot of us that did.
yeah, right? But now I've kind of forgotten almost everything about it. And I know when I'm going to play through, I know this is just the first chapter of the remake, a lot of stuff's going to come back to me, but throughout our time, man, you've asked me so many questions about original Final 7, and you've commented on this, and I'm just like, I don't remember that at all. So I'm coming in as a fresh game.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, one of our initial bonding points when you and I actually first became friends, when we were talking about, what were we, like 19, whatever, yeah. This is over 15 years ago, it was pretty funny because one of the things you said to me was, have you ever played this game? It's called like Final Fantasy 7 or whatever. And this game had such a profound impact on both of us in our younger years that it was pretty funny that this is the thing we're talking about, because I don't think anyone would identify you or I as avid Final Fantasy fans right now. I mean, if you look at my game collection, you'll just see Need for Speed or Crash Bandicoot or whatever. And to be fair, I wasn't even going to buy a PS4. The last Final Fantasy I played was Final Fantasy X, so I gave up on the series at about around that point. That was PlayStation 2, so quite some time ago. And yeah, it's just funny that this particular one, this game had such a profound impact on both of us. And as young adults, we started talking about it, and we're like, wow, that's crazy that we both know what this is. We both know the gravity of this game as a whole. So, yeah.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited to do this with you because this is something that I've been nagging you for a while to do with me.
I'll set on normal difficulty, yeah. And I guess that's something that we should point out, that Oliver has actually played through this and finished this. We're going to try and not talk as much through cutscenes, but you guys will hear us talk throughout this game. I'm probably going to get a lot of help from Oliver. I'm not kind of a side quest mission type of guy. I may roam off, loot a little bit, have a look for some materials. But already, I'm glad I waited for PS5. This looks beautiful, straight up.
Well, to be fair, I'm not going to give you too much guidance. I'm going to sort of leave you to your own devices for the most part, but I will give you hints here and there. And it's more about the commentary, more about us discussing what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
More interesting.
Yeah, apologies if you see in the reflection of the face cam. It's a bit bright. I'm just trying to get the lighting in there. Ooh.
But obviously what you're seeing right now is a huge expansion upon the original opening scene of the game.
Yeah. I think it's Midgard. Kind of reminds me of South London, around Victoria Station.
Yeah. If you've seen any of the trailers, there's one of the original trailers in 2015 when this was all first announced. There's this scene where they're getting off a tube, and I'm like, is that supposed to be modeled off the London Underground? Because it looks surprisingly familiar.
Yeah, surprisingly, just then it did.
I like this little sort of preamble here where we're sort of seeing how much of an impact Mako has on, or Marco, as they like to say in this game, it has on your everyday citizens here in Midgar. This is quite cool that you're seeing different aspects of it.
This is why I knew it'd be worth waiting for you to play this. Because that's sort of stuff that I'll just be like, yeah, okay, and you're really diving deep, give me a lot of insight into it.
It's just an intro. There's nothing going on there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have gone, oh yeah, this city runs on it. I mean, I obviously know it from the first game.
So here we're sort of moving on, getting closer to the original, where we begin.
Aerith? Is that a name?
Or Eris, depending on how
Aerith?
you take it,
Or
whatever you like.
First point of controversy.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll just stay quiet until Cloud's in the reactor. See how she seems scared? Or something?
Yeah. As if you would just step on a flower like that, you tool. My dude, be more respectful.
She's just a lowly flower girl, mate. She does not deserve your respect.
What do you think the going salary for a flower girl Midgard is?
A pretty gill or two.
The gill. Oh my god, it's all Russian back. It is the architecture. Ooh, yep.
Every time that bangs, that hits, every single time. Like, every time I get shivers down my spine, I'm just like...
Little chills there. Here he is.
Yeah. So...
Even my first look at Cloud.
Here he is.
Okay. Wow, Barrett. Tattoo and all.
Get down here, Merc.
It's good to see Cloud stick to superior landings.
It's practiced once or twice before.
Yeah. Okay, first look at Cloud. Have a look-see at him. First impressions? Very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy. I like the hair. I was worried on the remake the hair would be really
You're up.
anime is probably the best word, yeah, but it's actually quite subtle. Basics, square to attack, cool.
You're coming with us. Nice and easy. Don't think so.
First trophy.
So you're obviously just gonna mash square, and
Yeah.
away you go. That's how you're basically gonna start. Bang, there you go. Battle's over. If you go back to the original, I don't know if you remember, but it was
Hands
like
where I can see them.
A very drawn out event, actually just having a random battle, you know.
Yeah, it was.
You've got the menu afterwards with all the upgrades and the gil you won and all the XP you gained, AP.
ATV Gorge fills as time passes. Alright, yeah. Wouldn't be me if I didn't jump in the battle. Let's go.
Go ahead.
Just jump in.
You can expand, press X.
Enough of this.
Gotcha.
Not bad.
So
And
before you leave this room,
Yeah. Maybe.
have a bit of a look at the things you might see on the walls. Anything that sticks out to you.
Yeah, music gallery. Okay. What else we got? 7 sees the world through her eyes. Hair tonic. Maybe that's what Cloud was drinking in the first one, the PS1 one. Elegance. Okay, and
So these are very fine details that we see here. It's pretty amazing they've gone to the lengths to do this.
Yeah.
But
Vanilla White quality apple juice.
Vanilla White. I'm glad you found it.
Yeah.
This isn't actually. Yeah, this isn't anything to do with the original Final Fantasy VII, but that's a nod.
Drop the weapon.
A particular game and compilation series.
You got this.
Yeah, what he
you
said.
wouldn't know because you haven't played any of the compilation series. But...
Yeah. Just adjusting it down a bit clearer. Cool. Guarding and evading. Press R1 to guard, or okay.
You're
basically
coming
like
with
every
us.
other game you've ever played.
Enough.
Nope.
Sweet. No more Benora White posters. Hey.
Yeah. So back to the character model. You're still fighting.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, sorry. So you're pretty happy with his hair. He could have gone a bit overboard with the anime. You see his bangle sort of on his left arm. I think they've obviously nailed it there. Generally, I think they've pretty much nailed it with his character model. He hasn't gone crazy, Advent Children style, where you actually did see differences in his vest and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they're keeping quite true to the original with his character model, so I'm pleased with that. Although it is slightly different to what I mentioned before, the 2015 trailer.
Yeah. This is giving me shades of like King's Cross St. Pancras. I mean, it's probably a lot of different tube stations look like that, but very much I was just there like a month ago. And then, very much.
How do you feel about his sword being strapped to his back the whole time, and you're just running around with a gigantic sword on your back?
It's kind of my big beef in most video games these days. That, I mean, every great game does it.
So
just
what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is
weapon
he one
on his
of us
back
now?
and it just stays there.
He's
magnetized.
got balls, this,
It's like, you just gotta accept
what was
it.
his name
Unless
again?
you're willing
Cloud
to have
Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier
devs
anymore.
develop some sort of
Still,
animation
he's
for
a
them to put it in a
professional,
backpack or
unlike
their
the
hip or
rest of
something.
us. I'm glad to have him.
The sword could be smaller.
This is
Yeah,
a
I mean,
one-time
Barrett
gig.
is also walking around
When it's
with
done,
this
we're
massive
done.
Gatling gun on his arm as well.
Yes.
And there's no hiding that, and there's obviously no hiding Cloud's sword either.
Yeah.
Kind of be a little unrealistic if he just
look at too.
shoves it in his backpack like Banjo-Kazooie or whatever.
Banjo-Kazooie, good example, Wedge, right? Almost got the sword, cool.
I'm not too worried about it just being sort of stuck to his back, but what I'm sort of thinking is,
We're done here.
Or even the same.
Give it a
he
run.
shouldn't be the only one walking around town with a massive sword on his back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yo, this dude, the voice actor for Wedge, sounds like the kid out of Breaking Bad.
He is
Jesse's
his
mate?
kid out of Breaking Bad.
Is it?
Yep,
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, nailed it. Thank you very much.
he did.
Yep, IMDb. I'm freelancing and I'm willing and waiting. Gotta love the Nightmare Before Christmas tattoo.
Come
on
on, nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think?
Not interested.
What?
I think they nail Wedge. The best voice actor.
Yeah. Do you think that particular actor was like a Final Fantasy fan growing up playing it?
Could have been, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think you only jump on a project like this if you kind of do have an appreciation for the game.
Yeah, I agree.
You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gil.
Yeah. Fair point.
What do you think about him?
Barrett. He's as cold as I remember. Oh, that's the yep, right there. Take the screenshot. Love you, thank you. That's the thumbnail. Now press R3 to look into a specific target. Yep, cool.
Get him, boy!
Dog?
Yeah. Classic. Classic from the original. Again, the reactor.
Come on.
Oh, hello. I thought you were dead, dog. I just want to kill this dog. Die. Good. Okay.
Looks
now
like
you.
you're next. All right.
I don't know what I've done here. Press triangle.
Let's get this over with.
Yeah, so you've changed the mode. You've jumped into Punisher mode, so you can just
Was
see
never in doubt.
bottom left you've got triangle for Punisher mode or Operator mode. Quick explanation between the two. Operator mode is he's more agile, he can move around and make quick attacks, whereas Punisher mode is he's slower, he's less agile, but you do mow through your enemies quicker because his hits are more powerful.
Cool. Good insight. Power attack and light attack.
Basically, yeah.
What
Something that you might want to do is to set up some shortcuts, because he does have more attacks than just what you're using right now. You are basically just using his standard attack.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can set up shortcuts on the controller, and it'll actually make you be able to enjoy battles much more. So you do that.
Yo, I've kind of realized just that the base camp's over the mini.
Not so fast. We've got company.
It is, but I don't think that's going to infringe on the gameplay too much.
Dog with a big snake.
Try to keep up.
Yeah, he's got his tail coming out of his head rather than out of his borders. That's actually true of the original model for the enemy. And I'm happy they didn't change it. I would have thought it'd be beautiful.
Let's go, dog.
All right. Enough.
Okay.
Let's go.
Quickly. Trying to figure out how to change the face cam down. There we go. Bit better.
Yeah, it was actually the announcement of the release of this game which spurred me to buy a PlayStation 4. That was the only reason I did it.
Really?
Yep.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad I waited for this PS5 version. One, I got it cheaper, just I'm not as into it as you are, I guess, in my growing age, but also, like, it looks beautiful, man. I know it's not got anything more, like, it's just crisper, cleaner. Or maybe it is.
Oh, you're talking about the difference between PS4 and 5, right?
Yeah, maybe there's not much, but... So what year was Final 7 first come out? Was it 91 or something like that? No, that's too early.
Come on, Chloe.
That's way too early.
96 maybe?
97.
Ah, there we go. I remember it being such a focal point with my friends, like, I have a PlayStation, it's better than Nintendo 64. And they're like, well, blah, 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 blah.
Soldiers may attack on command,
I remember going,
but I hear
all
they
arguments
good
ended
guard
on,
dogs
well, we
too.
have Final Fantasy 7.
Bet you've seen a few reactors.
Okay. Oh yeah, that the
So how do
PlayStation was
we
better
get to
than
the
the
bridge
N64.
of Mako storage? Ain't holding out on me, are you? Stamp scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy? Have it your way,
Interesting
Mutt.
sentence.
We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
You'll find out who steps.
Different reactor, different layout. Depends when it was built. Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
What's this chick's name?
Don't you worry.
Jesse.
Biggs will have
Jesse.
the door open soon.
Yo, Biggs in these doors. You're the doorman, Biggs.
In 3, 2, damn.
Both of them. Both of them, both Jesse and Biggs, they have access to certain doors in the reactor.
Oh, wait!
Very true to the original, exactly as it was then.
It's over!
How do these guards see in that helmet? Every character is
I'm assuming they've got like
He's alone!
night vision or something, and the two of the bottom red dots are
We can take
their
him!
vision.
Make it rain!
Yeah.
It's over.
I like how you can hit two people at once
Yeah.
when you're there in your field of attack.
See how much quickly you get
Yeah.
through your dudes as well.
Loot.
Let's move.
Nope. Nope, around here. Okay.
Dude, let's set up some shortcuts.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes.
Yeah, okay.
In battle.
Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? And we're good.
Careful in there.
I really like Jessie in this as well. Like what they did with her character, I think that it's a huge.
I got this
improvement.
place covered.
What was she like in the first one?
She's pretty quiet, but there are some indications in the original. I wouldn't say some, maybe one or two that she kind of had hots for Cloud, but in this one, yeah, you'll see how it
It's
develops.
pretty striking, yeah. So what is this, shortcut?
Go into the menu, go commands.
Yeah. Battle settings,
Yeah,
or am I in the wrong menu? Map screen.
battle
no?
settings. Yeah, so
Wow.
whoa.
L1 square, L1 triangle,
Yeah, so
L1 circle.
L1 square is braver, L1
Yep.
triangle is focus thrust, and L1 circle is potion. Suppose you can leave it like that for the time being.
Cool. I didn't
Yeah.
realize those were there.
But L1 square, L1 triangle. Try and keep that in your mind and press those combinations together whilst in battle.
Okay.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
It's pretty forward.
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
Are you
She
ignoring
didn't
me?
laugh.
Tifa
Yeah.
and I.
This is a pretty touchy moment. Like for a like little things like that.
Are you
That's
ignoring
obviously things
me?
they couldn't have done with the original, but to do that, it's just like, oh, that little flashback. How nice is that? Like,
So that wasn't in the original.
very good compliment to the game.
That flashback wasn't in the original?
No,
Oh, okay. Wonder why they add stuff like that. I mean, I'm obviously going to find out with your help, but yeah.
character development
Yeah.
shows depth.
Look at this dude's marble
These
bench.
sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life.
Okay.
Rest
Not very sure
assured,
either, by the way.
our inquiries will not take much longer.
Big boss here, Billy Bob Thornton.
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet
does look
dry.
like it.
While you
He does,
sleep,
doesn't he?
while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you?
I feel like Barrett needs
Mako
to
is
chill.
the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green
Well,
like you and me bleed
His
red.
dialogue is almost.
The hell you
hand in
think's
hand.
gonna happen when it's all gone,
That
huh?
was original.
Answer me!
Yeah.
You gonna stand
But
there
yeah,
and pretend
you've
you
got
can't hear the
John
planet
Bennett,
crying out in
voice
pain?
actor.
I know you can!
You really hear that?
And
Damn
Yeah.
straight I do!
he's really good
Good
if you
help.
ask me. I think he nails Barrett. Barrett sounds exactly how I wanted him to sound.
Say that again!
Yeah.
I'd worry less about the planet and more
good,
about the
um,
next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later.
Casting. Because it's kind of how I pictured his voice in the original, too.
Yeah, like the way he speaks is exactly
Yeah.
what I thought John. Oh, sorry, not John. Barrett would sound like. In
Our
real
lives are on the
life,
line
if you
now.
were to hear him. That's exactly how I imagined it.
Yeah. He's just, like,
You listening,
already a
Merc?
bit... Well,
One
okay, mate.
false move. And that happens.
Well, so much for having Cloud do
click.
all the fighting. There are some places a sword just can't reach.
There you go. A little bit of gameplay instruction. Woven into the
Just
story.
bear with him for me, would you?
Yeah.
Should have asked for more money.
I agree, Cloud. You should never have to put up with fucking melodramatic bullshit like that. I like the detail on Barrett's gun arm though. Like the, I guess, what would you call the material, the cover that goes further up his arm. Join the
Yeah.
party, Barrett Wallace. Let's go.
I also like the materia slots as well.
Gonna
You see
throw
them
your
all
sword
over.
Yeah.
out. Let the man with the gun go to work.
With detail.
These
when you
10
change the
cans ain't
material,
got
it
nothing
actually changes
on
a lot.
me.
Okay, what am I doing here?
Suck on this.
Yeah. You've got two people. Change between them. Alright.
Now for the real show.
But for the time being, you want to be shooting down these laser beams. Because Cloud can't get them up there.
Okay.
Deal with that.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, use Barrett's overcharge ability, the triangle.
See ya.
Shotgun. Cool.
There it is, overcharge now.
I'm counting on you. Do your job first.
Shut up and move over.
Lol.
That's that.
Cloud ain't taking that shit. Shut up, move over. Stick with your little gun arm. Little does Barrett know is I dropped his
No
arm
time to
super quick in
celebrate.
the original game. As soon as I could have another character, he was out of my rotation. And he's probably gonna have the
kept him
same
around
thing.
a lot.
Nah,
My
man.
original rotation
we
was
have here.
he's a long range attacker. It's very, very
Those things
useful
will
to
hurt
have
more
when
than
you've
your
got
pride if
flying
you're
objects
careless.
or
They'll
Gotcha,
cut you down to
yeah.
size and then some. But I'm guessing
just
you've done
work
this
in the
kind of
original.
thing
You've got
before.
like people that are in the forefront and in the background.
Yeah.
And that was also really helpful for the people in the back because if you took, say,
I'll go first.
Cloud
Like a little
to run out
danger
the
to
back
get
and
the
get
blood
some guy
pumping.
in the back row, his attacks would be
Just
less
keep
than
those baby blues of
you
yours
got
on
to a
me.
guy in the front.
Quick move, like, yeah. So far, oh, I'm not going to hit that one. Oh, I could have. It's like running across the road.
Not too shabby. You're doing good, soldier.
Boxes, loot up.
If you're up for a laugh, run into a couple of them because
Let's see what's next.
listen to Jesse's commentary. There's another set down below.
Oh, okay, cool. Just kill
That's also
myself for no
good.
reason.
And there's more opportunity. Come on then. You okay?
Okay, stopping that now because I don't think I'm going to get through this one. No! Holy shit. Never thought this
Just
was
relax.
Just relax, bro.
Keep it cool.
Pretty easy,
But-
right?
I mean, you say that was easy, Jesse, but I seem to hit like 4 or 5 unintentionally. I obtained 2 potions. My quick commands work here. How do I use a potion?
They don't call those
Yeah,
things
commands
sleepers for
menu.
nothing.
So
They can
X.
wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
Not if you wipe the floor with them first.
Good shit, Cloud.
We can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform.
Good old sweeper.
What the hell? How do you use potions? Command
If we
menu,
rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Potion.
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening. Let's do this.
Quick tip, if your man's down on health, don't worry about him getting hurt or dying. Yeah. Talk to your other guy, because they defend better than the AI and the other one. So, use your ATB. Press L1 square, L1 triangle.
Okay.
Hey, it's not moving.
Let's pin it down. Give it all you've got.
Staggered.
Now switch over to Barrett.
Now's our chance. Let's go.
Don't need to tell me twice. I'm gonna enjoy it. Fire everyone off.
Oh, what? Let's go charge.
Now he's out, now jump back over to this cloud and use his ATB.
Alright, I get the combat now. Yeah. I get a bit better. Things going on. Find your party members to attack. Okay. Okay.
Get off.
See, sweeper.
Don't
Get your help,
just
Barrett.
stand there. Help me out, damn it.
Chill, bro.
Use your ATB.
It's on now. Keep it together.
Of course. We just had to get back.
No, that's steel skin. It's not a very good ability. I'd remove it. It is a good ability, but just not now, not in the beginning. So you might want to just avoid using steel skin. Use focus shot instead.
Okay.
If you want to know what's what, jump into the menus. And see.
The game's pretty like just follow this path, shoot this, do that. I mean, much like
it
the
is
original.
linear. Yeah, the original was also. It's weird because people talk about Final Fantasy 7. They say, "Oh, I really hope that the remake's going to be open world and you can walk around everywhere."
Yeah.
Well, the original
That's our
wasn't
target,
really
the reactor core.
that open world. Yeah,
Gotta
it was
set
open
the bomb
world,
at the
but
bottom.
For the most part, it's very linear until you get vehicles. Once you get vehicles, then that's where you have a bit more freedom. But still, you have to stick to the storyline.
Yeah.
Not really many options for wandering around and exploring places. Yeah, stick to the story.
I remember the first impressions when I got out of Midgard. I was like, whoa, like, this is massive. And then I died like 200 times to that big snake in that cave hole next to the farm. Just like, if you haven't played this game, or the original, that sentence would make no absolute sense to anybody. You know what I mean?
But that was almost like, wow, I'm watching a movie and the actor has broken the fourth wall. Like,
in a way,
I'm not in Midgar anymore? Like, what? It was so crazy.
Should be easy. It's on you.
How do you, switch, is it R1? Target again? Yep.
You mean switch character or switch target?
Switch target.
You don't look so good. Take care of those dudes before you bleed out. Yeah, I'll do it.
What's it tactical mode? What's it doing? Adams? It keeps switching to clouds,
He doesn't have any ATB, so you can't use his attack until his ATB's built up.
We move. We're mercenaries. Get in, get out.
Press X now.
We sink right down to the bottom. To the
Use a
planet's
potion.
core.
No.
The pump is behind
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you gotta exit the menu. I thought.
Okay, now we're going to change something. Stop. Jump into your menu.
Oh, sorry. Let me just beat you back.
That's that.
Cool.
I could have done that on my own.
So yeah, what are you saying? Jump to my menu.
Yeah, and go to your what are they called? Hotkeys or whatever?
Yep. Shortcuts.
Shortcuts. That's it.
Yeah.
It's called like battle settings. Yeah.
Yeah. Got
And
it.
there. Yeah, click on X for example. L1X. That field that's empty. Yeah. And then spells.
Nice. Fire, thunder, or cure. I've only got fire by the looks of things.
Okay. Yeah. Put fire there for the thunder for sure.
Oh, I've got that. No, it's grayed out though.
Okay, if it's grayed out, that means he doesn't have the material equipped to him.
Yeah.
So use thunder.
Yep.
Because this is going to be important for the battle coming up.
Abilities, spells.
Now jump over to Barrett and see if he's got thunder, and make sure that you've got a shortcut for thunder happening with Barrett.
Barrett's got a thunder shortcut, and I'll put cloud as fire.
Yeah. Because they got to have the material equipped for you to be able to put the shortcut there.
Cool. Sweet. Good. Does this game
And wait.
or what?
Before you do that, change whoever's got cure, whoever's got the material cure on them, change your potion shortcut to the cure.
How would I check who's got cure?
You don't have spells. You don't have the material option yet, but it doesn't matter. Whatever's grayed out. Huh?
Barrett has cure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If Barrett has cure, then there you go. So jump back into your shortcut keys and put cure on his potion slot.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay. So it's good. Cool. All right. We move.
Yeah.
Make it all the right way.
Yeah, but you see that Steel skin was L1 square, so maybe avoid that one for the time being.
Okay.
I don't feel like it really helps you that much at this point in the game.
Or Miko energy, eh?
It's the blood that fills it's the bloodstream that fuels the planet. That's what switches on the light bulbs at home. It's very reminiscent of a nuclear reactor down here, actually. I don't know if you've ever seen what the insides of one of those look like. But...
This is just sitting below.
All right, let's see if little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are. That you're one of us.
Never said I was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Good shit, Cloud. Fuck off, Barrett.
Then do the damn job!
Cloud, like, don't bring me into your BS, mate. And don't guilt me with some childhood Tifa memories.
Yeah, he's still trying to manipulate him.
Yeah, that is. That's the way your jealous partner moves, Barrett. I'm not here for that. No wonder why I've dropped you in Final 7 as well.
Ooh, that is freaky. Did you see that?
The feather.
A black feather.
I'm fine. What about the timer?
Has actually nothing to do with the original OG FF7. Just,
20 minutes, 30 minutes? Oh, let's go 20.
Pretty cocky, ain't you?
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. You want a challenge?
Yeah.
Make it out there in time.
Oh,
you double crossing!
Remember this thing? Crab, spider machine.
Heads up!
Scorpion. Some insect. Clearly a scorpion. Alrighty.
How the hell do we fight this thing?
It's got reinforced armor plating, but the internals can be overloaded.
Okay.
Lightning magic.
No other option, huh?
Quick test of your Final Fantasy knowledge. You're against a
should I be worried?
mechanized enemy. What happens against a mechanized
well, you just asked me to put thunder on. Well,
yeah, you definitely don't want to cure him.
I just put fire? I didn't know fire was on. Who had thunder?
Keep it together.
Could keep going.
Let's do this.
If I heal up.
Take the lead.
Yes, it's my turn.
Well, thunder.
Coming at you hard and fast. Hell yeah! You see the damage that did?
Keep it up.
Barrett's overcharge.
Deal with that.
Yeah, I'll do it. You got this.
Taking over.
Oh shit.
I'm waiting. Okay. Don't overdo it.
Need my help, do you?
My turn.
Yeah. Okay. Big old,
Oh, you just got robbed. Did you see that?
yeah, it did. But no, it didn't work.
Your MP would have been drained for
Never
that.
seen this defense system before.
You didn't even hit him.
Thought you would
Yeah, that frustrates a lot of
So
people.
what's your
about this
brilliant
game.
plan, genius?
Does that happen a lot?
It happens occasionally. Between phases, that you just saw, you're actually winning. So the Scorpion Guard is now changed to the second phase. Every boss attack is broken up into
Bounce right off.
phases.
Nice drop, dumbass.
Frontal assault's no
I'm going
good.
to heal Cloud. Careful.
It's my time to shine.
Here we go.
Or go down in flames.
Yeah. Yep.
Coming at you hard and
Well
fast.
done.
It didn't work.
What's going on here?
I'm gonna have to do this all by myself. Got
Okay, so
anything you want to say?
Can't attack him.
Funny way to ask for help.
Find out where it's weak. You can't.
But there's a little.
Damn it. Now, why you gotta pick on me?
After that, you want to bring Cloud back. Stand up.
How do I do that? Command menu, items, Phoenix down.
Let's turn this around. I ain't going down fighting the goddamn
Just sort
scorpion.
of maybe stand back. Not go so much on the offensive, maybe just heal up.
Items? I have no items to grab.
It's not that you don't have any items, you don't have any ATB right now. So you are kind of... With one character, you want to stand back and guard, and let the other guy dodge and build up his ATB. And then, yeah, sort of switch that up until you get your ATB.
Not as good as I'd be if you'd actually
Now
tried to
you've
help
got
me
a
out.
view of his behind, go for that.
You need me, huh?
Overcharge. No ATB.
Bang, bang. Getting woozy.
Take it over.
Need to back myself up ASAP.
Deal with that.
Love me a tap.
Heal up.
Good deal.
Time to fry.
That didn't do shit.
Gotta heal up quick. Well, I'm in serious shit.
Oh no, I thought I pressed it. Press circle. Oh, Barrett's down. Oh my god, I'm terrible at this game.
That's alright, you get the hang of it.
Be careful. Let's switch it up.
Once you... This is the thing, like, you're probably finding this a little bit stressful right now. But once you get in the swing of battles, this becomes just second nature. Using the shortcuts and watching who has ATB when, and it just becomes full instinct, and you can keep on top of this pretty easily. But I understand, like, it can feel a little overwhelming in the beginning. Oh, there's so much to concentrate on. But it's very satisfying once you get the hang of it. Okay, he is pressured right now. Attack, a cat attack, go all in on him. Bells, thunder, get in, yeah.
Oh, what the fuck was that? Cloud's back. How did he kill Cloud? What the fuck?
He has this sort of, like, you know, close proximity explosion, electrical explosion doesn't happen.
Could keep going if I heal up.
Use his charge, because I can build up his ATB with it.
Come on.
And then, now you can heal up with that.
We gonna let this thing keep pushing us around?
I think it's dumb how you can't use items, like, without ATB.
Well, I like that aspect because it's keeping it good to the original.
Yeah, I
The
get it.
ATB is a factor and it's a challenge. It's like in any fight. If you're fighting a real fight with someone, you're going to be concentrating on where is my energy going right now.
Another barrier?
Big attacks all at once. I'm going to be...
Yeah, I get you.
It's not, I guess it's trying to sort of replicate that.
That's dumb.
But I like that instead of the original where if you didn't have ATB you couldn't do any attacks. You can do any attacks anytime with your standard attacks. You can't do any ATB attacks.
This thing's gonna kill us.
I actually like the balance of the hit there.
More shooting.
How about
Doing-
that flip from you?
He's got his field up, his field generator.
So what's that do?
Blocks your attacks. You want to go for his ass, yeah. I don't know if you were seeing the damage you were taking was like, you know, you're it was like 1.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, on that phase. So you want to be keeping an eye on what he's doing. Cloud's actually got a warning. I don't know if you noticed that.
Okay, yeah, I see it. You're right.
Yeah, now. Do it now. Oh, he's changing phases. Here we go. We're into the third and final phase. As you can see, he is looking a bit broken now as well. I'd suggest heal using that barrier and attack uses the
What did that do? I didn't even know I was
Don't
doing
get hit. Take cover behind that debris.
Ooh, but watch out for that tail laser.
Brace
Don't
yourself.
get hit. Don't do the push slash.
The Barrett.
Behind the rubble, stay behind the rubble.
Pushing it.
You think I care about a few cuts and bruises? Cause I don't. Now, get in there!
Oh, you don't hit from behind the rubble?
You got this!
Need to heal up. Any last words? Need a breather.
I'm counting on you.
Pushing it.
Need my help, do you?
Potion. No, potion Cloud. Come on, man. What are you doing? Now I don't have any ATB.
Hurry up! sure could use a break.
Ocean, cloud.
All the time.
Okay.
Gotta memorize the attack patterns. Heads up! Tail laser!
I see it.
Then take cover already!
Goddamn time.
That level.
Now, go!
Use Barrett's overcharge to go for
Oh, Barrett.
You're up.
Heal up and regroup.
Very annoying. I can't seem to get cloud close enough to much damage.
Incoming! Take cover!
There's really no other option.
Wanna get shot? Be my guest.
Something you might want to consider is if Barrett's MP is down, if you've got an ether, you might consider giving him ether and focusing on using thunder.
Now, go! Take the lead.
Need my help, do you?
Bring it.
I know you can
Let's
do
do
it.
this. Need to do something about these rules. Don't overdo it.
Oh, this is long. Potion. Is this guy meant to be this difficult?
Yes.
Ain't done yet.
You can't regret that 20 minutes.
But this is actually something that fans of the game really appreciated because you have so much time to switch and face so much time to spend.
What's it doing now?
It's actually something
Not a
that
repair unit.
was
Damn it. We gotta take it out quicker with Stol.
Oh, I am way ahead of you, Murph.
Gotta time our attacks just right. Hold out until you spot an opening.
All right. Watch and learn. When I get my chance, I'm gonna blow this bastard the hell up. And that's a promise.
you've got
Hit my ass. Here it comes. I'm counting on you.
Heal up and regroup.
Yo, I can't even imagine. Like, the only thing I remember is the fucking ultimate weapon. And I can't even imagine what they're gonna be like in the fourth installment of
It's
the
not
game.
gonna go down easy. Focus.
when the first boss is this.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta worry about
You stagger to jump into it.
Yeah.
Bang. Sorted. Alright.
Shit, the bomb!
Oh, the bomb.
That's so funny that that's what you thought.
Yeah.
Because, like, I always thought that as well. Like, when you see him, like, flailing his tail around and the laser is just shooting off everywhere.
hear that?
Yeah.
Well,
Damn
that laser
thing
doesn't
showed you
hit
how
the
it's
bomb or we're all
done.
dead.
Come on, we've got to move.
20 minutes, let's go. Where's my timer? Oh, right in front of me. Oh, so it starts when you beat the boss.
Yeah, we did.
I guess that's fair. Wait. Always got time to heal.
So, what do you remember of the originals trying to escape from the reactor?
Nothing, mate. I remember the cutscene of the original on PS1 where the thing blows up. I remember the train, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I
Something
said,
specific you need to do.
I'm coming into this like
Tough,
very
but
fresh.
doable. No holding back.
Yeah. Something will pop up and you'll need to do it. And you'll see what it is. And let's see if you remember it.
Hey.
See ya.
Do you feel a sense of urgency when you
Never in
get
doubt.
the F out of dodge right now?
A little, yeah.
Flow?
Yep. The music is creating a sense of dread, but also a heroic sense of dread.
Well, the music, I think, is so fantastic. Such an amazing job. And it's because a song isn't just a song. There are different iterations of a song, and you know how you're just experiencing in the actual box outfit.
Yeah.
With every turn of phase,
Do I look okay?
the music tends to amplify and become more,
My hero.
lively and ecstatic.
We'll link up
So
over there.
it really
Look after
draws the
Jesse.
player into the game. And it's I think
Yeah.
we've done an incredible job with
Come
that.
this way.
I can't be more.
This route should lead us straight
I
to
can't give them enough praise
Probably.
for how much great work they did with the music. I do have.
I think I see an
Let's just back this up a bit. I have a lot of criticism about this game, as anyone probably does. I mean, I think the general consensus is that 95% of this game is amazing. The other 5%, I think we could really just,
Let's go!
Yeah.
So I also do have my criticisms of the music as well. If we get to a point where I might be able to talk about it, we might talk about it if it's necessary. But it has to be relevant to what we're doing now.
We're running out of time!
Shut up and climb.
But yeah,
You're not helping.
Nice.
Sorry, it keeps me focused. I'll freak out if I don't talk.
Have it your way.
I mean, in terms of sound, it sounds pretty fine at the moment. One thing I remember from the original was just that annoying, intro music to a battle when you run into someone in the forest or out in the wild. You're just like, no, I just want to walk through here.
Don't worry,
the
I'll
random
be fine.
encounters.
Yeah.
I've got Soldier Boy.
And it's kind of like Pokemon as well, when you're trying to do something on the old school Pokemon games.
X, Soldier Boy.
They're here!
Let's go,
Take
Cloud.
them down!
We don't have time for this shit. It's off to
Cool. 5 seconds is all we need. Shit. It's over. Take the lead.
Guess it's my turn.
So you see how you can more effectively tear through the enemies.
Yeah.
You just sort of slowly getting the hang of it.
Yeah, I'll get used to it. It's just hard because I just finished Spider-Man, which is very... Oh, hello. This thing again.
17 minutes. Stop sticking down.
Walk this ticking, bro.
Deal with that.
Alright. Watch and learn.
Deal with that, Garrett. I'm out of here.
Bring it home.
He's very exploding after that.
Here we go. Take him down.
You ain't gonna get away.
Watch
So
this.
I know when you're fighting a staggered gauge and these words pop up staggered, you're probably not taking too much of it. But
Take the
when you
lead.
get the later stages of the game,
Let's do this.
the staggering aspect of an enemy becomes incredibly important.
Yeah.
It's integral to some strategies and beating some bosses. So,
I remember in the original you, oh, hello. 16 minutes, we got enough time to loot. Let's go.
indeed you do. I would have berated you for missing that box, by the way.
I thought about just running past it, just for the lulz.
Alright. Watch and learn.
And these mono drives, I love the way that they've implemented these guys.
Don't overdo it.
Like,
My turn. Oh,
you could just consider them like a drone, just hanging around as security measures in a place like this. The way that they've brought them to life, and the what are they called, X-rays? The guys up here in the next level. Whereas they were sort of fixed to the ground in the original, and this one you find them to be fixed up to a or mounted to
It's on you.
overseeing the position. fire down upon them. It's just such a logical thing. You have the barret as your long-range shooter.
Never in doubt.
It's just such a practical and logical implementation, representation of the original game. Because when you're playing the original game, you can't really get your head around that. Like, what is this weird laser thing swinging in the middle of the pathway?
Yeah.
Why would it? It doesn't make any sense. Had to turn it up on a high position, that's of course. That's what they were thinking about. So it's the funny because this like brings more life to the original.
You don't look so good. Take care of those wounds before you bleed out.
It gives you better insight into what they're actually thinking into some of the weirder things in the game. Because there are some very weird enemies in the original.
Oh, the whole game's strange, bro.
Come on.
I want him to aim at the one up there. We go.
Let's do this.
Let's finish this. I'm gonna do it, don't we?
Alright.
Don't forget that clock. Time is money.
Deal with that.
Need my help, do you? See ya.
Cloud's getting paid from the hour.
Yeah, right. I always found it funny that like you get how would you say gil for like killing enemies. I'm like, what, did you rob them?
Yeah, cool. Just took it from him. Just murked the guy and then just took his wallet.
Let me check his wallet, yeah. I mean, it's only probably right that I'm drinking a car. Who am I playing this game with?
Ooh, very appropriate. Japanese rice beer.
That's a Japanese recipe. Amazing. Ooh, security cam footage. There he is.
Sir.
Yeah. As we were aware before, we were being watched.
Oh, my phones are still here in the Final Fantasy.
I don't know if there were iPhones in the original, but they definitely did have mobile phones in the original.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool.
Yeah, the lasers lasering each other is all malfunctioning. He kind of he set like a self-destruct command, right?
Well, yeah. Why would he do that? I thought that these guys are bombing the place. Is it self-destructing or is it bombing? Getting bombed?
Something's afoot.
Something is afoot. The plot thickens.
I'll say this for Cloud. He's very 90s looking in terms of his design and his look. Do you ever think the sword like scrapes on the ground behind it?
I like the camera shakes now.
Yeah.
If I couldn't, believe me, you'd be the first to know.
I'll take that as a yes.
That's good, Jesse. Stop throwing yourself at it.
That is exactly what happened in the original design. Okay, now this isn't in the original.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Well, that's the thing. How do you feel about that?
I love the thumbs up. It's good. Yeah, just me is what it is. It's a company thing, but if it's consistent, if you can do backflips up the building, then I want to see that in combat. I like the car design. That's pretty cool.
How amazing was the explosion?
Yeah.
Look at that. And the city going out, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like those little touches.
Yeah. Good. Alright, well you've done that, mate. You've basically just done is that the first chapter? I think that is. You've just completed the first chapter.
Okay,
well done.
nice.
Big congratulations to you, mate. I'm going to take this short moment just to take a quick toilet break and get a beer.
Like
I'm going to do the same thing.
Alright, so we will reconvene in just a moment.
Okay. And we're back.
Think you might have overdone it?
I followed the instructions to the letter. Maybe it triggered a reaction with the Mako?
Well, let's hope the city's still in one piece.
But the planet's what matters, right? I mean, this must have helped some.
After all that, it had better have. Anyway, let's get going. We in Sector 8?
That'd be just down there.
This guy from Breaking Bad, he kills me every time his voice comes up. Let's go, Wedge. Alrighty,
Watch out for
Sector
live
8.
wires. They're everywhere.
I want more Wedge for sure, especially with that voice actor. Yes, mate. I was just saying, I want more Wedge. Oh, let me go first. No, sorry, guys.
There's plenty of Wedge, so don't worry about it. Wedge has his.
What is that? I've never smelled anything so
fair amount
question.
of representation.
And you're probably going to be able to answer that. We'll answer this as a fair question, right? Biggs and Wedge, is that paying homage to Star Wars? The TIE Fighter, oh yeah, the X-Wing pilots?
I felt that one in my guts.
They just keep on coming.
Or am I just making that up? There's definitely one called Wedge.
Was it the
I think you are making that up. However, I think you might have
figured that
I don't
out
know.
later.
I'm just assuming now. You might have read somewhere.
I'm running on empty.
The Wedge and Biggs, they actually appear. There are several different character names which appear in almost every Final Fantasy, and Biggs and Wedge are two of those names.
That's
Do you have a phone handy?
Just like Sid as well as a name that appears in
I'll
almost
set the
every
bomb.
Final Fantasy.
Do you want to quickly Google X-Wing fighter pilots, Wedge and Biggs, Star Wars? Because I feel like they are pilots. I know one of them is. I just can't remember which one.
Fire in the hole!
Alright, we've got bombs.
I'll have a quick search. Yeah. Well, yeah, Jesse is the bombs expert.
Yeah.
You sure told those doors.
Let that be a lesson to anything that gets in my way.
Little Google search for you here.
Attention all citizens. Attention all citizens.
Star Wars.
This is an alert from the Shinra Emergency Operations Center. Unidentified intruders have detonated a bomb inside Mako Reactor.
Wow, they are.
Yeah, there they are, I remember, because Luke says
They
it.
almost appear. They almost always appear as a duo and are named after Star Wars characters: Pete Starklighter and Wedge Antilles.
There we go.
Star Wars. Red.
Rendering the entire sector hazardous. Therefore, all residents of
Red Squadron Wingman
Yeah.
in Star Wars Episode 4.
This couldn't have been us.
Shout out to Wedge and Biggs. And shout out to N64. What was that game? You know, the Star Wars one where you flew around?
I only remember a PlayStation one.
But we
It was
can't
amazing.
stop now.
And you could jump in like all different
the
types
planet
of
won't be safe till we
vehicles
get the
and
rest.
run around.
I'm pretty sure that's Battlefront.
We always knew this was gonna get messy.
And this is only the beginning.
There's a lot of references in this game to
Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without
to pop culture.
sacrifice. Though
But
you
yeah,
may
let's
not
just
be
watch
crying
this
out,
cutscene
I know
first.
you're in pain,
Quite
just
important.
like the planet. But it's okay, cause I'm here for you to help take the load off your shoulders. Your fears, your worries, your concerns, and yes, your fees. Whatever your problem, I got you.
So, what's our next move, boss?
That's easy enough. We get our asses home.
Cool. Alright, Bart.
What are your takeaways from that speech?
We'll split up and shoot for the last train home.
Still don't like Barrett.
In the freight car. Got it?
Oh man, you got to get on the Barrett boat.
Nah, I'm
Jeez.
not on the Barrett boat. It's a bit too melodramatic for me. I just can't wait to drop him.
You can have it once we're back at
Yeah,
base.
give him my money.
Yeah.
You know, let me speak to Jesse. Yeah. like her vibes way better. Okay, cool. A bit of civilians.
Yoo-hoo.
Here she is.
I don't need to tell you what this is, right?
Of course not. It's healing materia.
You can have it for saving my life.
Just doing my job. Nothing more.
Yeah. Fact is, I'm lucky you were there.
Survival can be a matter of luck or skill. And you can't rely on luck.
Words
Good
to
insight.
live by.
Yep. Can't rely on luck.
Yeah,
Very much
well,
true, Cloud.
thanks.
You do know how to use it, right?
Words to
You
live
do know
by.
what I was,
She's
right?
just giving him the dick eyes.
Giving him the dick eyes. Do I need to do this tutorial?
No, skip it.
Skip? Nice.
I'll
There we
teach you
go.
what to do.
Set materia.
But,
Fire
yeah.
materia.
So now
Healing.
you've got your materia menu, and
Yeah.
you've got your weapon menu.
I just put it
Got
in
equipment.
the. I just put it in the Buster Sword.
Yeah.
Cool.
Away you go.
Yeah.
So
Where
that
go?
way you can at least heal yourself.
Okay, I was only trying to help.
Um,
Oh, before I
can't
forget,
put any
here's a little
equipment on
something
just at the
extra
moment, but that'll
for
come up
being so
later.
brave. That really was
Swap
the
out
ride of a
swords and
lifetime.
armor and all
Well,
That's true.
see you on the train.
Let's get to the train, yeah? There she goes, Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock all over.
Right?
Wow.
Speed, Sandra Bullock. Yeah, so these phone boxes are very reminiscent of London.
Indeed, they are.
This is. I would say this design element is like a fusion of like most European cities, but it's heavily inspired
is.
by London for sure.
Look at that. What do they call that behind you there? The Morrison Tower. Just to your left. Behind the
You may alternatively contact
Bus.
security headquarters. I repeat.
that round circular sort of thing to
Oh yeah. The advertisement thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Right in
exactly.
Germany, isn't it?
Yeah, all over Germany.
Yeah.
And in France too. I've seen them in
Yeah.
France.
Excuse me.
But see the advertisement? Loveless.
Yeah.
Alright, what's going on?
Okay.
But yeah, breathe the environment.
Up here!
Yeah, just have a bit of a wander around.
I said look up! Careful up here.
It should be-
It could collapse at any moment. If you want up, you'll have to use those stairs.
I mean, yeah. If you want up, you'd have to climb those stairs. Oh, I can interact with this guy.
You can interact with.
Oh, so this is what I remember about Final 7. I remember when I was young going, holy shit, the scope of this game, I can walk into like this door and just talk to anyone there.
Yep. You can
I
do
obtained
the same thing.
3 grenades. I have not used a grenade once.
Wow. I've played through this game a couple of different times, and I've never used one either.
Cool, bro. Hey Barrett, I got some grenades for you.
You can take them, and you know where to take them too, right?
Alrighty. You can take them, you know where to take them to. Very good. Oh, fire trucks. Love that.
Station's intact.
Burning building. Up on the top right.
Station's still intact, he says. Need that to get out of Dodge here. Expressway falling down on top of him.
Did he have an earring in the original? Or was that an Advent
I'm not sure
Children
if you
thing?
could have seen that. It was the detail was way too blurry, man. You're looking at these
Yeah, I know.
blocky character models. It's I don't think it would have been recognisable in any way, shape, or form if you had an earring or not. But maybe.
Yeah, so I really like that detail of the eye. Obviously it zoomed. Ooh! Here he is. Hot French bastard. Whatever he is with his silver hair.
I have to agree with you. I think he's a very sexy man.
He has that aura about him, eh?
Oh Jesus, he's right in front of you.
Yeah, he's got that Sephiroth big dick energy, mate. What's going on? Oh, this didn't happen in the original. He was nowhere near here. Oh, I'm very intrigued now. You've got me. Excuse me, Square Enix, you have me.
But then,
How dare you? How dare you propose Sephiroth this soon? What's going on? I'm getting flashbacks of the first game come back to me. Okay.
So, Cloud's obviously a bit bewildered right now. He's
a
bit incredulous as to what he can see in front of him. I don't think he really understands the situation at all, which is fine.
Ooh, there he is. How much taller do you think Sephiroth is than Cloud?
He is a beast, and I'm glad his character model is represented that way, because in the original there wasn't really that much size difference between the two.
No.
He is a demeaning kind of factor, isn't he? Just like this luring kind of.
Wait. They're all like little
That's
figurines.
Should be as well.
I remember in 7, they're all like little figurines, and now models. I mean, if I had to take a stab, I'd say Cloud is like 5'9", 10 somewhere. Sephiroth looks easy, like 6'2", 3.
He's 7 for sure.
You think he's 7 foot? That makes Cloud easily like my height, like 6'5".
Yeah, I think Cloud's supposed to be pretty tall, actually.
I think Barrett's quite tall. Here we are talking about
probably right.
You're not real. You're
dead.
Okay. Okay.
I am.
I killed you with my own.
Oh, you need not remind me. It was the crowning moment of our time together. But that was then, and this is now. I have a favor to ask. Our beloved planet is dying. Slowly. Silently. Painfully. Can you bear to see the planet suffer? Cloud.
What? What have they done? They've changed the game.
Planet to die.
Yes.
So many
Very
things
much so.
would be lost. Your hometown burned so bright. The sound of her voice, pleading for despair. A shiver of her flesh
Swig of beer.
yielding to cold
Cannot
steel.
contain what he's watching.
Yielding to cold steel.
That which binds us together would be no more, and I would be loath to live in such a world, which is why I must ask you this one favor. Don't worry, it's a simple thing. Run, Cloud. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
You bastard!
Good, Cloud.
Okay.
Very good. Hold on to that hatred.
Very much Emperor vibes coming from him there, right?
Fucking Palpatine.
Run to that hatred, boy.
I'm seeing things.
Yeah.
From all the Mako, maybe. You got
Alright,
this.
you got this. You just had a fucking nervous breakdown, mate, but you got it. You're good. I'm in a bit of a shock. As I said, I don't know, can't remember much about the first game, so I came into this very fresh. But I know for sure that didn't happen. You didn't see Sephiroth for a long time in the first game.
When did you see him?
I can barely remember. It's outside Midgard for sure, right?
As in, you're talking about a personal one-to-one interaction with him. I'm referring to, when is the absolute first mention of Sephiroth?
Do you see him... Okay, I could be wrong, and you're here to correct me on this. You see him, like, very briefly in the reactor, don't you? And he, like, disappears. It's almost like half a second. Or maybe I'm making that up. I'm making it up.
No, you're not making that up, but you've mixed up the situations. You're referring to...
Yo,
Are
FYI...
you thinking about the Midgar, the Junon boat, when you're going from Junon to Costa del Sol?
You're talking...
You see him, but that's a bit further in the game, but anyway,
Where is the first place you see him? Okay, this is really interesting me. Tell me the first place you see him in Final 7.
I repeat. This is an alert from the Shinra Emergency
as in his body?
Evacuation
What a
order has
mess.
been issued to
What?
occupants of buildings in the vicinity of the Sector 8
Body,
Expressway.
gas. What is that?
Okay, so the first place you see him is, well, reminiscence of him is in the Shinra Tower.
Okay.
And basically you wake up in your cell and you walk out and there's blood everywhere. And then you see his sword, which is upside down. It's killed President Shinra, and it's just impaled into
yes.
it, right?
Yes, Loveless Street. Shout out Loveless Street.
But,
yes, you're right.
Yeah, this is the Loveless Street, but that wasn't even Sephiroth. You didn't even see him. But that's not the first mention of Sephiroth either, because Sephiroth was actually mentioned by President Shinra when you go to blow up Reactor 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Very important moment coming up. Carry on.
I go to Fresh Meat Market.
Talk in a minute.
Love a bit of the old sausage.
There, meat market, mate.
Here she is. Flower lady. They're dropping, man. People will step on themselves. Look at that hair.
You are too weak to save anyone. Not even yourself.
Are you okay?
Flower peddler. Shout out there.
Are you okay?
Just peddling flowers.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Here, this is for you.
Huh?
Gives her a daff.
A flower?
That's
Have a
right.
daffodil, mate.
It's a gift. You know, for scaring those things away.
What things?
Never mind. Think of it as a memento.
Just my luck.
I heard that, you know.
Do I pay? What do I do? Pay? I'm good? How much? How much or I'm good?
I don't know. Is she worth your time, mate?
Yeah, I'll pay her.
How much?
Well,
Only
that
because I've
depends
seen
on
the other guy step
customer.
on the other one.
In your case, it's on the house.
Huh?
Lovers used to give these when they were reunited.
Look, I'm in
Lore insertion.
Yeah,
dangerous
right.
things.
Oh, I'm sure you are. So?
So keep your distance.
Wait, you think someone's out to get you? Is that what you're all worked up about? Relax. No one's going to attack you. I promise.
Hey, a Mako reactor just blew. You shouldn't be out here trying to sell.
Fair point, Cloud. Your whole power generator for your neighborhood just blew up and you're out here trying to sell flowers. Chill. Oop, ghost. Okay. Got that one.
What are they?
Yeah. The Final Fantasy music. Crestus. Dominus. Wait, why can't these ghosts see the ghosts?
Are you blind?
You know,
Stop asking logical questions, Anthony.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
Wait!
wait. Oop. Can she see
leaving
them?
you.
I feel like they're chasing her, and I'm left with these.
I love her exit.
Yeah.
Continue.
Right now!
Ladies, stage left.
See ya. 1,
Bye.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bye.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, let's go.
Alright.
Let's line them up.
Yeah, should have solved it as a nothing, mate. These,
Yeah.
you've got nothing to worry about here. You just
Wow.
there will be
nothing to
some
do.
more formidable enemies coming up later, but quick tip, you might want to go back the way you came.
Why is that?
But yeah, you want to go off to Aerith, of course, yeah, I'm sure you got to Aerith.
Oh, I see a little thing in the distance there, you're right.
No, good to talk. Turn around, you missed the box. Stuff.
Wait, so I'm supposed to go this way?
situation goes, you can go down that way, or you could go to the left. Where you
Gotcha. Well, I just seen this purple materia, or whatever is it? How do you pick up?
Materia is always very attractive, even in original OG Final Fantasy. When you see that glimmer of a materia, you're like, ooh, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
You want to get it. You want to.
I want to give a shout out to this building as well. Very Shaftesbury Avenue inspired-esque, like most theaters.
Yeah.
Boxes here, yeah.
Yeah.
And the crate up there.
You might want to equip up that materia that you just got, the purple one.
What's purple? Is there like rarity or something?
No, they have different sort of... The materia, depending on their colours, have been grouped into different categories of materia. So your standard magic materia will be things like fire and thunder and ice, poison, all those sorts of things.
Deadly dodge.
Have,
okay, cool.
You have support materia, which that one is, the purple.
Yep.
Purple materia, support materia. The weird thing that Final Fantasy VII Remake does is it kind of blends character attributes with it's hard to explain. Sorry, I'm not good with the terms here, but so Deadly Dodge is an attribute that could be like sort of hardwired into a character's I don't know, skill list.
Yeah. So it's like it's like almost upgrading Cloud's skill tree as opposed to like it's best suited to him. Is that what you're saying? Or
well, yeah, it could be automatically something that is earned rather than being in material form.
Yeah.
So, or because Cloud has a sword, that means he has that parry. Or what is Deadly Dodge? He has that dodging ability.
Maybe I could have started.
Doesn't matter. Not really anything like this in this part of the game. You're done. Be able to compare at a later part. So, try this. Normally, your support material or purple is reserved for things like HP plus or MP plus.
Yep.
Look at that, you gotta level up. So if you need, or strength, you know, up strength. Those sorts of things.
Gotcha.
The actual attributes of the character, not so much like a physical move you can do, which is what Deadly Dodge is. There are other ones like that as well, like parry. It's physically moving. They just group them into the same group. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They fit there, and other gamers also think this as well. That maybe they shouldn't be materia. They should just because they take up materia slots and again, that's also part of the challenge and strategy. Yeah, the shock troopers, they'll give you hard time, mate. Heal up.
I'm trying. Potion.
You've got ATV. No, spell.
Here it comes.
Yeah, Punisher.
Oh, so when you block, it doesn't block damage, it just takes little damage.
Yes.
Oh, what do I do?
Now you're in.
We're done here!
Blockades have been erected throughout the area.
Looking good. Let's do this.
So long!
I repeat.
Not good enough!
Try me.
Operations Center.
Wait a minute!
Limit him.
Cross slash, bringing back the memories. Slight beef. Very, very slight beef. When I go into the pause menu, or I go to do like menu changes or something, what's going on? Why am I still talking? Alright, roll.
Because you're still in a battle.
Is, I like seeing the face of, this is so dumb, I like seeing the picture of Cloud or whoever was in my group, right?
Yeah.
That's not in this one, I haven't seen it yet. I really like that little animation.
No, it is. It's just not their face, it's their whole body.
Ah, so you have to put the face, a little portrait. So wait, where's the other
you'll
guy?
see. You haven't. Yeah, I don't think you've. I don't think that's been integrated into your menu yet. I actually quite like the full body.
Cool.
But yeah, okay. Can I give you a quick tip? You're standing right in the middle of this square, and the enemies are just going to keep on coming. You want to sort of duck off to the sides and try and get some cover because you're just going to get smashed in the square.
Well, I've finished. I'm going up to this ladder.
Fire! Shoot to kill!
I mean, for anyone watching this and wondering why the response may be a little bit delayed, because Oliver's got a slight delay. We actually don't live in the same city.
Be advised, target approaching residential area. Seal all access immediately.
Yeah, and I've only got a PS4 and a PS5, so I'm watching the Twitch stream whilst talking to Anthony in the group party. So.
Obtain something. Yep, cool. Can see it. Base camp, all good. Keep going. Oh, there's a ladder.
Okay, you just got some armor. You want to equip that if you can. Come in the menus and slot that beast on. Then.
How would I do that? Equipment.
Equipment. Okay, you know the ability to do that. Yeah, that's interesting. No...
I can't do it. No?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, you got that bronze bangle. Swap that over to
iron bangle. Gotcha.
Iron bangle.
10 to 16. Okay, cool. Now that I can set materia in that. I shall set fire because it's the only other material I have. Now it's coming back to me. Final. Whilst we're on this, I want to give a shout out to original Final Fantasy VII. How old were you, Oliver, when you first played it?
That's a good question. So 97, I would have been... Don't ask me mathematical questions when I've been drinking.
That's why I asked, because I too have been drinking. Hello, this guy's a bit aggressive.
The riot troop is actually quite difficult. Yeah, it's even more embarrassing for me when you ask me, oh, can you do a simple kill yourself quickly?
Good shout on the heel.
Yeah, can you do a quick mathematical equation for me? And I'm like, expected to know the answer because I'm the guy who's the banking guy. Just why do you lump this peer pressure and...
I was 13 when it came out.
You were 13. Okay, 1997. I was 10.
No, I was 11. Sorry, I wasn't 13. Okay, but I'm sure I played it not when on its original release. I
think I played it 6 months to a year afterwards.
Yeah, I was probably a year after. My point is I was quite young, right? And in terms of, so were you. In terms of the game, it is the first game that made me a gamer. Now, what I mean by that is, I just got a little flashback of that, of like, oh, I equipped Iron Bangle and now I have 2 material slots. When I was that age, I was like, oh, this one has 3. Can I find one that has 4? And what else what combinations of material could I get? And I remember sneaking into the library in primary school and printing out the longest Final 7 guide. The longest Final 7 guide. This thing was so thick.
Some guy who's just been who's dumped so many more hours into it than you ever have.
Exactly.
Worked it out.
Yeah.
And you're like, now I know the answer.
Yep.
You're in a battle, you think of that chest.
Yeah. I was like, yep. I remember it was so funny. I was just like, I am the master now. I'm going to go to school and talk to everyone about this, knowing all this stuff. Hilarious. People don't know what game guides were like back then. There's no platinum trophies, no YouTube. Just hours.
YouTube in 2 seconds, look up, oh yeah, there's the answer, that's how we do this.
Just hours.
And I think that kind of ruins this game to a certain extent, because I did find myself at times getting frustrated with a particular enemy, and I'm like, I need to know how to kill this guy. and seeing the explanations online and how deep you can go in the battle system here. Just like, wow, I would have never thought of these things. Then, okay, these guys have explained so much to me. The battle system at the present that you're experiencing this present time right now, it's at a very simple level. You get so many different layers to this, and there's so many different things. It becomes so complex and very, very satisfying when you master it. I can only implore you to continue on and yeah.
These dogs are a little annoying.
Yeah, you find the dogs annoying? I find the riot troopers far more annoying.
Yeah, man.
Here we go. Yep. Alright. Let's do this.
Die, dog.
See ya.
To the healing.
Funny, because you and me were talking about another game previously, The Last of Us 2. And everyone had a big opinion on what it's like killing dogs in that game, and in this game I'm just fucking slashing them.
Murdering bitches.
Yeah. No one's got an issue with the dogs in this game, just because they got a tail coming out their head.
Yeah, they kind of have this big, massive tentacle just
tentacle. What a gross word. Just tentacle, eh? Like the grossest of gross words. Looks like a fucking Pokemon, man.
So, we did sort of brush aside some very, very heavy things that happened a minute ago. I'd love to jump back into that conversation.
Yeah, it hasn't given me a moment to reflect.
I need to warn you that you're coming up to a boss battle.
Okay. Oh, is the boss battle?
You're fairly okay equipped for it. There's not really much you can do differently with this part of the game, but you're going to be looking out for a riot soldier. He's going to be a big fat one, and he's going to be very difficult to kill. You're going to have to concentrate on him. Yeah, get rid of those.
That's that.
I want to ask you something around the dodging. When you dodge, does it, like, a successful dodge, does it lead to a higher attack or a more powerful attack?
With the materia it does, yeah.
So at the moment I'm just dodging for the sake of it. The huntsman.
It's called deadly dodge because your dodge sort of develops into a counterattack, it's a counterattack where
let's do this.
Yeah, it should be more effective than a normal attack. Huntsman, that's your guy. Go at him, he's weak to pressure.
Yeah, I need some more. He seems weak to fire.
Shit.
Yeah, he is. So people are weak to fire, whether it's a security officer or whether it's this guy.
Get ready.
Yeah, as in machines are weak to thunder, people are weak to fire. That's the basic principle you can go on in this reality.
Cool.
Here we go. Let's do this. That's that.
That was a boss?
You are smashing him. Okay,
That didn't seem like a boss at all.
On hard mode, he's very difficult.
Gotcha. I mean, the spider thing was way harder. I know that. Oh my god.
Actually, I take that back. He's not at all a hard enemy. He's just an annoying, challenging enemy where you have to spend time.
Did that guy recognize him? He's just like, hey, we're bunk mates. Ooh, the train!
I think so. I think you're right.
He was like, wait, yeah. I know him. Yeah. Come on, man.
How sick is that?
What avalanche? Come on, man. Allow
like,
This cloud won't be joining us
like
after
the.
all.
No need to assume the worst.
I just can't take Wedge seriously with that voice.
Because of his voice.
I always see him spinning that thing in Breaking Bad. You know when he's like,
you think he's a keeper?
The sail sign when he's doing that job.
All right.
Michael.
You had me worried for a minute.
That entry in comparison to the entry in the OG.
What was the OG entry?
Security to run around.
Yeah, just the door opens in its very primitive graphics, and then he just does this flip in. It's just like that was a little more majestic.
Well, can't argue with results.
Oh, mate, we've got Sandra Bullock, and now we've got Charlie Sheen. Hot Shots too.
Wait.
And Mr. T.
Yeah, for sure, Mr. T. Okay, we got to figure out Cloud and Wedge.
Attacked by an invisible enemy.
What?
Oh.
Wearing robes.
Wedge is just Badger Man from Breaking Bad. He's done.
He's just Badger.
Invisible.
They were, at first. Only saw them after she grabbed me.
A new Shinra weapon, maybe?
More like a panic-induced
His hand.
Yeah.
I always think, has he like a robotic hand under that?
Said anything.
Suit yourself. Come on, let's move up.
I kind of feel like it cuts off. His arm is being cut off just after the elbow, and that's where his robotic hand starts.
It looks that way because it's got bandages underneath.
Lucky us. We've got a crowd to
Train
hide
from
in.
Sector 8 is
Head
bound
for
to
the
Sector
front of
7.
the train over there.
Sector 7.
Doesn't
that ring a bell? I
Cloud
mean, this
has
this
a
one.
robotic hand for extra quick masturbation.
Did you read that
Very
somewhere, or did you just
precise
say
and
that?
fast. I just thought of it.
So he's a lefty.
I mean, what else would you use a robotic hand for?
I don't know, right? Ooh, there's some other stowaways on this train. Fair play. Okay. Here's a controversial
NPC,
opinion.
see if you can have a chat. Oh,
Nah,
okay, go on.
I'm good. No more chatting. And I've talked to you about this many times. I prefer Final 8 to 7 in terms of the character models and the design. Now this, I want to talk to Wedge though. Badger, what's going on, Badger? Let's go. Sorry to disturb
Oh my
you.
god, did you just see, dude to your left right now with the glasses on?
Why would
Yes.
anyone do something like that?
This guy?
I kind of thought that was... I thought he had some vibes of,
Sorry, I didn't mean to...
what's that song?
Adam
I
Levine.
can't his name.
Okay, got it.
I can't
You
talk
know.
to Wedge.
Now!
How come I can't talk to Wedge? Badger, there he is.
Everyone's on edge.
Of course they are.
Hey, Cloud.
What's the singer's name who sings Oakland?
If you're about to unburden yourself,
Charlie
don't.
Gambino.
Yeesh.
Yeah, I thought that was Charles
You don't
Gambino
make
for a
it
minute, then I
easy.
just
Stop
realised
right now.
he's not of that ethnicity, he's of a different ethnicity.
Yeah, you're way off there.
It's a little bit off. He just gave me some Childish Gambino vibes.
God, Gambino, so good. There he is, Charlie Sheen.
Hey,
Look at your
got
boots.
a sec?
Let's go. What are you saying, Biggs?
I love this busy train, by the way. Oh,
Holding up
look
pretty
left.
well, huh?
Taylor Swift.
Even after what we saw at the station and all over Sector 8?
Right?
I'm a soldier.
Wow, my hands are still shaking.
You get used to it.
Are you harassing her?
Forward to.
Just leave me alone, alright?
Talk to Biggs.
Do you think Wu Tai's to blame?
Let her take a hint, buddy. Like what?
You think no one's
Just trying to
concerned
ride a
about
train here.
No one's concerned about a dude just walking through with a 7-foot sword?
Yeah, right.
The bomb I made shouldn't have produced an explosion that big. It doesn't make
Ah,
any sense.
there we
The
go. That's the
explosion
little.
triggered a reaction with the
If
Mako.
you didn't talk to Jesse, you wouldn't
said so
know.
yourself.
Right
That
there.
was my first guess, but shouldn't a reactor have fail-safes to prevent that kind of thing?
I actually think that was mandatory. I didn't know there was anywhere
invisible
around that.
enemies
Oh,
back
was it?
there, right?
But yeah, she's basically saying the bomb was just meant to blow the reactor, not like half the
I'm just
sector.
looking for excuses for something that was clearly my own fault.
Oh, okay. So are they all feeling
I'll own up
guilty
to it if I'm gonna
that
learn
they
from this and
potentially
move on.
took away some
Thanks,
of the
Cloud.
sector in people's
You're
homes
a good
and
listener.
they created this chaos as opposed to just, an annoyance to Shinra. And
I
that's
tried
why.
to give you a hint.
Yeah, and that's why that
before
guy
you were
pressed
walking
that-
through, I'm like, please take note of your surroundings. and
Yeah,
your
I did.
environment.
Yeah, and that's why that guy pressed the iPhone.
But I heard it was Avalanche's doing.
Really? Aren't they the terrorists who
This
tried to kill the
shady
president?
corporation, mate. Don't trust the fucking big corporation.
Quit talking out your ass. Everyone knows Avalanche only cares about saving the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Just who do you think you are?
a law-abiding, concerned citizen.
Love Barrett's theme. I don't know if you realise that, but his music theme's playing.
Yeah, is this the same theme from Final 7?
Yeah.
I gotta say, the detail in the characters is really good.
Was a message.
I have hope if the second stage or the second part of this game is on PS5 exclusive, after playing the PS5 exclusives like Spider-Man. I can't wait to see what like the ray tracing is, or you know, the graphical improvisations on like improvements. On
work together for
reflections.
Peace and prosperity.
You know?
Apparently they're using Unreal Engine 4. So,
okay. Yeah.
It's the same engine that they're using right now. They haven't jumped up to 5.
Okay. As if you applaud a dude like that, that must piss Barrett off.
No, I really enjoy this because basically what you're seeing is that there are actually two worlds that people live in.
Yeah.
You do have the Shinra employees, the people who work for the company. You know, you've got company men. And you have the terrorists as well. So I think it's super cool that you're getting insights into both sides of the story now. Because this interaction in the OG was just like exactly that. It was just Barrett harasses this dude in a train, and then he scares the living bejesus out of him, and he runs away. That's basically it. So this, you actually get an insight into, well, what are these Shinra managers thinking, and why would they support a company like that? Why would they work for them? So,
gotcha.
Yeah. But you actually had a question a moment ago. You wanted to ask me about Final Fantasy VIII.
I find visual aids make
before we get to that, I really need to go to the toilet.
If it helps, think of
okay.
it as an initiation rite.
How many times do I have to tell you people? I'm not...
There's such a thing as playing too hard to get. So, here we
There's such a thing about playing too hard to get? Well, you wouldn't fucking know about that, would you, Jesse? Jesus, you throw yourself at anything that walks.
Very forthright, this young lady.
Coming from the most liberal person in gaming.
Which feed the insatiable appetites of the public.
She doesn't leave her intentions to ambiguity.
No.
This here is the train's route. As you can see, it'll take us around this main
Okay, we're in a
pillar.
cutscene, so I'm going to quickly just duck to the toilet.
We're about halfway through
Alright,
it now.
I'll take over the
They've
microphone.
set up a checkpoint here to scan the IDs of all passengers heading in and out. Date of
Yeah,
birth,
welcome to
residential
Anthony and
status,
Oliver's
criminal history, all that and
Final
more
Fantasy
is
7 Happy
automatically
Hour.
cross-referenced in their databases. Public security wouldn't have it any other way. Heads up.
Very much enjoying this playthrough of the game with
Don't
Anthony
worry.
and
Our IDs
giving him
are
the chance
impeccable.
to have an insight into a world
What'd I
that
tell
I'm
ya?
very familiar with
Have a
myself,
little
something
faith.
that I've grown to love and appreciate over the
Won't be
years.
long
And
till we reach the bottom.
I'm a very, very big
Relax.
fan of more Final Fantasy VII than the Final Fantasy series
Because of that
itself,
great big
but
pizza in the sky.
this was obviously my entry
Down there
point
gotta
into
struggle
the
to
Final
survive.
Fantasy series, and
Shinra sucks up
again, it
Mako
left
while
a
the
huge,
soil
profound mark
turns to
on
dust.
my childhood, as it
Fills
did
with
with
smog,
many, many
and the
people.
flowers die.
Then leave and don't look back.
And to see it just brought
That's
to
what's
life
always worked
with
for me.
the amount of
Well, that's all well and good.
graphical
If
density
you
that you
only
now
out for
see
yourself.
just takes
But the
huge
folks
precedence
down
over
there
the
don't have the luxury
old
of
blocky
choice,
character
you know?
models that you used to see. The music has been brought to life. The characters have been brought to life through voice acting. It's just amazing that the job that they've managed to do with this game. I can't lob enough praise over to the developers.
Barrett with his glasses off
fantastic.
is sick, to be fair. Very, very humanizing. And I agree, I could hear what you were saying the whole time. I completely agree, mate.
So I actually prefer Barrett without his glasses. I did ask you what you think thought of Barrett just before, but I would much prefer him without the glasses on.
I agree.
Not a big fan of glasses Barrett. I mean, what are you doing that for? Are you trying to look inconspicuous, mate, with that gigantic gun on your arm, walking through the slums? You don't want to be picked out as a terrorist, mate. I think that ship sailed.
I've got this like impending sense of dread with this game right now, knowing that I'm only going to play Midgard. I'm not going to experience Chocobo Farm. I'm not going to experience Big Snake in the Mountain. I have to wait however many years, you know, like, just like, oh shit. Like,
Hot damn, we are good!
okay, 6 to 7. We're home, yeah?
Lost 0. And one step closer to a
Charlie
brighter
Sheen,
future.
for sure.
Charlie Sheen. Well, that weight that you have on your shoulders, Anthony, don't worry. It's far more heavier on mine because I've been dealing with it for the last 6 months or whatever.
You've earned it. Just be ready for the next mission.
I'm actually taking back what we said. Barrett is not Mr. T. He's more Carl Weathers. Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Good Carl Weathers, yeah. All right.
You know where Tifa works. Don't keep her.
Okay, we
I think Carl Weathers was a little. No. Carl Weathers was way too well spoken. I don't think that suits. He doesn't have enough. Ghetto talk. Anyway, go on.
We've brushed over quite a bit here, in terms of.
Man, there have been some major plot incidences that we need to talk about.
Okay, street food, what's going on here? So whilst I'm in this moment, this is what I remember about Final. You can walk and talk to anyone. Now, I'm not going to just go and walk and talk to everyone, because that's actually a bit boring, and to be honest, I'm not quite interested in hearing their little tidbits. However, they've changed the game. They've changed the game completely. I knew this before I played this. I've read reviews, I've seen people talk about it. Oliver's told me before I started this playthrough. I held off until the game was in the sale. Shout out Boxing Day sales and PS5 now. And I wanted Oliver to play it first and to walk me through this. But Oliver, they've changed the game, man. It's a remake, not a remaster. What are you saying? Like, what are we doing here? We've seen Sephiroth now. Is this time travel? Is this dimensions? What's your theory so far?
You want to hear theories?
Mako is the lifeblood of the
there are plenty of theories.
No. I don't want to hear theories. I want to hear I want to hear your first impression
take on it.
When you were in that moment. What did you go? Holy shit! Like, what was your first thought?
I was just confused. When I first went... I actually like this little interaction with this dude. But when I first played it, I was just like... It was so funny because it was so foreign to me. I just wanted to ignore it.
Okay, buddy?
I didn't want anything to do with it. I'm like, okay, well that happened. Ignore that for now, shelf that, and continue playing. It was like... I was like this OG Final Fantasy player in denial. Just couldn't even deal with it.
Yeah. Alright, I've got some
things
spirits.
like this happened with ghosts. And I was just like, well, what's up with these ghosts? I can't deal with these guys either. This is totally foreign to me. I can't deal with this. It's just not process. Alright, shelf that. Talk about that later. That was my initial reaction to it. Yeah, do that, dude. You are right on board. Have a little look around up at the plate. Zoom the camera around. Get the feelings of Midgar into your veins. Let that course through your body.
These guys, these boys, these like soldiers here.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
To an emergency
in the OG too.
They
don't realize I can just like end their existence in a flick of my wrist. My big ass sword. Yeah, dude. Like it's so okay. I just seen those ghosts around that guy. That interaction you're talking about.
You must be asking yourself right now, what is up with these ghosts? Why are we seeing ghosts? Am I correct?
I'm starting to... Sector 7, get in. I'm starting to have a guess, start to make some assumptions as to what, is afoot, if you will. In true story, as most comics and most reputable media or like storylines or intellectual properties have followed over recent years, my guess is
take a left if you can, please, because you see the pub right in front of you, and I'd prefer to you just wander around and we talk for a little bit before you move on to the next.
Wait, am I going the right way then?
And the pub is.
Oh yeah, I see the tavern.
Go back the other way.
Tavern. Yeah, the tavern. The bike.
Yeah.
Also,
so
that's the food store. Yeah, I would assume that by I finished Final 7 on PS1. Yeah. As have you, and knowing the storyline there, it's making me focus on Tifa. Okay.
Yeah, turn around and go the opposite direction.
No, too late, sorry.
Oh.
She got a kid? I don't remember Tifa having a girl.
That's right, Angel.
Hold on a sec. You find out who that child belongs to.
Oh, you did you? Well.
Barrett's daughter.
Yeah.
You made it.
I mean...
He always had a kid. Marlene was in the original.
I can't remember the last time I saw a real one.
I love doing the playthrough with you, but it's difficult to get a word in. There's a lot to talk about, unfortunately.
That's a playthrough, bro.
How sweet.
Tifa looks pretty poppin', to be fair.
She's banging.
She's stacked.
It has been 5 years.
Nice one, Cloud.
Did brilliantly with that, because there's so many different, politically correct routes you could have taken with representing Tifa in this game, but I feel that they've really struck the great balance of not going over the top and keeping to the OG, whilst also, appeasing those who might be offended by Tifa's exterior.
Hey, listen, I'm very much on board. Keep it original, show all the skins, big tits, big ass, big eyes, do the anime thing. If you're gonna do it properly. You can't have spider robots and shit like that and then simp on that. How good's eggs and chips? I'm hungry for some eggs and chips, mate. Shout out to everyone if you haven't had eggs and chips. It's a great combo. I do have beef though. Is this Barrett's daughter?
That's Barrett's daughter.
Okay. I mean, not to get into the politics of it, you know I have interracial sister. Through two different races, right? That's not what Barrett's daughter would look like. Is my guessing.
Well, that's actually a central part to Barrett's actual story, and either I spoil that for you, or you go and find out why he's got a white child.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll take it. Point taken. Gotcha. I jumped the gun there. Apologies, chat. Oh my god, why are your eyes so red? Yeah.
Yeah,
eyes are like burning red.
All the best to burn through you with, my dear.
I love the old Smeg fridge. Wait, what's going on here? Pinball machines, jukebox, darts.
Daddy?
I'm Daddy.
Did the people who died all return to
I recommend a game of darts, man. Darts is very, very fun in this.
Mate, I live in London. 180! Let's do it. I am actually right near Ali Pali. Why can't we? Okay. I've got these question marks now. I know you're
those question marks is the name of a song that you don't know, so that's why.
Jukebox.
Yeah, you have to click on the jukebox to be able to find out what's going on there.
Use jukebox to play your favorite tunes. Can I play Christmas Dominus?
You can. You can collect Tifa's theme just obtained, as you saw. Yeah, so you can collect songs as you go along. Like if you go back out to those food stands right at the train station, you'll be able to get a song, I think, as well. You pay for them with Gil, but they're very cheap, so it doesn't matter. The idea is collecting them.
Before we get on to money, there's an empty apartment in the place just down the road. It's nothing fancy.
Like, you want 100% the game? Yes, you want 100% the game? Collect all the music. What?
Sound good?
No, I'm good.
Thanks.
Not defeat 10 enemies unharmed. Collect all the music, you bastards. They knew exactly what they're doing there.
Chaotic.
Dragging side missions out for the hardcores.
It was wrong.
Mate, she's taking you down Death Alley here. She wants you to.
Don't worry about me.
I love. Okay, I've stopped for a moment. I'm looking up, and you catch up. I love like the contrast because this is something that you don't really see initially on Final 7. You just see the city and you think it's the city. But then when you dive in and you play the game, you see that there's the lower ranks, slums. And then you see like this whole big city above you and how people live above, and that's where all the rich are. It's like the classes is really represented very well.
As I could, all things considered.
And it's starting to come back to me when you're in the slums, although they weren't nowhere near as
you're not exactly a
obviously detailed in the first one, because it just looked like boxes, to be fair, like cardboard boxes you'd run past bitty little shacks. But I remember dressing up as
it was like
spoilers. I'm sure
the
that's
news
coming up.
is just another Shinra mouthpiece.
But it's a really good representation of like classes.
So, it wasn't that bad?
The rich stay rich and poor stay poor.
Oh, right.
Yep. Those are the central. One of the most central themes to this game.
Ooh, that's a fucking thumbnail. Ooh, get that. Please screenshot that shit. Look at him in the background. Wait.
Yeah. It is one of the most central themes to this game.
Yeah.
You know, the haves and the have-nots.
And here we are.
Man, it's why we play Monopoly so much, don't we?
You're on the second floor.
So we asked this question before, right? And
Room 201 here is where I sleep.
Okay.
Don't have time for much else, what with Seventh Heaven and all. Not even time to decorate.
That's
what is
potentially
Tifa?
Where you might sleep later.
What is Tifa? Is she a lady of the evening?
I already told the landlady about you.
You did?
Well,
Yes?
if she wanted to be, I'm sure she well could be, but...
I mean, I told her I had a
mate,
friend
she
looking
is
for
well
a place
above
to
that.
stay.
She,
Was that too much?
Did you have
No.
Tifa in your main 3
fine.
for a long time in the
And
original?
this?
I did.
That one's,
No, I never used her.
what?
I mean,
It's
she
getting late.
was
I'll
someone I
introduce
never
you
used to
tomorrow.
use.
My main 3 were Tifa, obviously Cloud, and Red X.
Yeah, I used to use Barret, Red X, and Yuffie a lot. I seem to focus on long-range characters like Barret and Yuffie.
It's a
just
little bare,
extremely
but should be enough to get you through the night.
advantageous
If you want
when
anything
you
else, we can
when you
always
focus
get
on
it.
attacks. I wasn't so much a
My
magic
money.
guy or summon guy.
guys only
I love getting
2,000,
my attacks
remember?
up and just smashing people with
I
like,
do.
different
And
tactics
we'd
that way.
love to settle up, especially since this was your first job for us.
Alex,
You got a question, Ant?
G,
Yeah,
Twitch
how's it going on
gamer.
Final Fantasy VII Remake
Sorry,
Deluxe
we
Edition?
spent the rest
Oh,
preparing
mate, it's
for the
going,
mission. That really is
well,
it.
firstly, thank
But
you, Alex,
not for
G, Twitch
long.
gamer. It's
I'm
going really
collecting
good,
money
man.
for
This is,
filters tomorrow, so I can
my
pay you
first
after.
playthrough on the remake with my friend Tia
And
Oliver. You
you're
can
sure
hear him.
about
He's,
that?
Of
he's already
course,
finished
as
this
long as
version of
you
the
help,
game
that
along
is.
with the previous one.
Wait, then I'd have to pay you for that too.
Yeah, dude.
Never
Blown
mind.
away so far.
No,
I'm very,
2,000's
very
enough.
intrigued by the Sephiroth
That's what we agreed on, so...
early
that'll be the
interactions.
price. With what you gave me, that leaves
Who
1,500.
knows? Who
You're
knows?
the best.
Who does know? Does anyone know
I'll see
what
you
that
bright
means?
and early at the bar then.
Well, what are
Thanks
your
again for
predictions now?
everything.
You've just
Sleep tight.
seen that sort of happen, and where do you think it is going to go now? He's inserted himself fairly early on in the picture here, and he does want something from you. Where do you think that's going, Ant?
He spoke in past tense. Well, he spoke as in he knew what was happening. So my guess is he
Guess it's
I
time for
watched
introductions.
Avid Children, right? I don't barely remember it. But the black feather that we seen very early, that's from Avid Children, am I wrong? Because it wasn't in the first Final 7. I could be very wrong, but I remember it's something to do with feathers. I mean, it could be all anime. But
Sephiroth doesn't have a black wing. He does have, the single.
But he has one wing.
winged angel.
he has one wing,
but
right?
it's not
Yep.
black until
Okay.
Advent Children.
Okay, yeah, but that's what I mean. I remember the black feather. So my guess is he's kind of said, I lose this, or it's like
Hey, you
dimension
okay in there?
hopping or time travel, and now he's going back and rectifying. I would be
Coming in.
surprised, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, I would be surprised if Aerith dies, or Eris dies in the way that she does in the first one, or if she dies at all. Was in the chat, Alex, oh, you're trying to platinum this game. Jeez, bro, good luck in platinum this. I just found out you have to catch all,
Did you see him hit his sword on the
Holy
wall
shit,
as he tried
yep.
to? I love that detail. It's really...
Yo, does Sephiroth have snake eyes?
Yes.
Is that
Cloud, stop!
Get back inside!
Wait, it's Marlene.
Get off me!
Don't kill Marlene, bro. Holy shit, what's going on here?
This is so cool. Like, if you know what's going on, it's actually really, really cool.
If you know what's going on, he says.
What are you doing to Marco?
Well, yeah, you have to have
This
played
is
the
his
original game to
apartment.
know what that
He's
was.
got
where
a
he
few
was walking around
problems,
and,
but he's not a bad
so-
guy. The landlady asked me to check on him
Oh,
now
it's just
and then to
Marco,
make
man.
sure
It's
he's
just
okay.
Marco. Don't be messing
Can
with
I ask
Marco.
you to do the same?
Sure.
I mean, I'd be pretty put off if my neighbor looked like that, to be fair. Like, Grim Reaper coat. Of course I'm pulling my sword.
He's just trying to live his life, dude. Just let him live.
Yeah, Alex, you're trying to platinum the game. How far are you through the platinum, dude? I mean, I would guess you've finished it. Maybe you're going back and getting collectibles.
Okay, so he's probably stuck on getting the dresses. I bet he's stuck on getting the dresses. That's what I'm
Okay.
basically stuck on. The rest of the stuff is fairly easily achievable.
Are you platinuming it as
but-
well, Stol?
I gave up.
Ooh,
Because-
gave up, it broke you.
Platinuming it on the original means having to go on a date with Barret. And I did
Okay,
like
yeah.
2 or 3 playthroughs of it, trying to get on a date with Barret, and they never worked. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to platinum the OG, so why platinum the remake? I love both of them, doesn't matter, whatever.
Okay, I defeated Genova.
Okay,
Genova.
he's almost at the end of the game, if that's
What?
where he's at.
Okay, why
Yeah,
do I remember Genova? No?
Yeah, Genova's huge, mate. She's a huge part of the storyline.
Well, now,
Gotcha.
you must be
Anyway,
I'm 50% done with this game. Cool. Nice one, dude.
Yeah,
So
Alex
how'd you
asked you a
like it?
question. He was basically asking you what your general thoughts are on the
No
game.
matter.
I mean, you said
All
you're like,
kinds
wow,
come through
whatever.
with all
What's sort
kinds
of
of reasons.
popping out to you?
If you
What's
ever
what
need a
what
nearbend,
what,
I'll
what
lend
sets
you mine.
this
It'll
game
be about
apart
anything,
from maybe other
even
games
Tifa.
or other titles
What's
at the
she to
moment?
you?
The granddaughter I never had. And if you hurt her,
Phew.
I'll take it out of your
Loaded
hide.
question, mate.
You hear me?
So far, I mean, I don't know how.
Now you
In terms
best
of
get a
Alex
move
said
on to 7th
50%,
heaven.
you're
She's got
50%
a
for
head
it.
start
I'm
on
guessing
you,
I'm
and then some.
3%. Right? It feels like a very in-depth game. I love the adaptations that they've done so far in terms of the character models, voice acting. It's really fleshed out. Like, this was all left to my imagination when I was... How old was I? 11?
11.
When I first played this. You know, and so you had this narrow walkthrough of these slums, and you had to imagine what it would be like. And now it's this big wide walkthrough full of bodies you can talk to. I'm not going to talk to everyone. Initial thoughts. I'm on board. I'm on board with Sephiroth, with the you know, his early entrance. Like, you've got me. You got me hooked. If you made me play through the original game, just remastered, not remade. If that makes sense, just ported for PS4 or PS5. I would, yeah, I would probably be less inclined. Yeah, I mean, I'm halfway through bailing at the moment. I'll be honest, it's been I know what I'm in for if I sign up for this game, and it's not a new experience, but they've just shown me it's a new experience. Sorry, I also got the Bahamut! Fuck, I forgot about, what are they called? Spells?
Summons.
Summons! Oh my god, Bahamut. This is why, we touched on this before, we talked about Final 8, Bahamut and you fighting Genova. Before I move on, Alex, while you're in the chat, you both can correct me here, because Oliver, you know way more, and you're a fucking genius at this game. Genova is, without spoiling it for me, Genova's the clone machine, if I remember correctly. I mean, fair play, it's 20 years ago. If I remember correctly, it's like the clone machine of like Sephiroth and Cloud, or something to do with, it's like their mother. Am I wrong?
Do you want to know the answer to that question?
Is it going to spoil the game?
No, it's not going to spoil the game.
Yeah,
but
go on.
Yeah,
of course.
It's a central story point. Basically, Genova is Sephiroth's mother, and Sephiroth was created through using Genova cells. That's
got you. Cool. Yeah, you're right. Okay, do I need to go anywhere here? Look
so you need to go back to the pub because,
mate,
you'll have some activities to do, and we can have a chat while doing some activities.
If there's one thing you should know about me, it's I'm always up to go to the pub.
It's hard keeping you out of that place, mate.
Mate, for sure.
Because we're basically looking for Tifa right now.
Tifa, nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for the insight, Alex. I'm looking forward to getting Bahamut.
Hey.
Bahamut? Bahamut? How would you pronounce it?
Bahamut, yeah. Yeah, that's all.
Let's get down
after
to
playing
stuff.
this, after
These
playing,
water
I
filters
guess,
won't
this
replace
far of the game,
themselves.
I'm
Although
very
the next batch
keen
probably
on
could if Jessie put her
a
mind
Final
to it.
8 remake
Most
in the
every
same
home
fashion.
in the area has one. Folks love them.
I thought you might say that. You did want to ask a question about Final 8
they make us more money than this place. And it's easy
Sorry, I
money
just got a
too.
text on something.
We bring new filters,
keep going, Oliver.
collect
I
the
can
old
hear you.
ones, and get paid. What?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
You had a question about Final 8, basically, and you were really keen for a full remake of Final 8. I don't think you're going to see that, though, to be honest, because they've actually just done a HD version of the game and sent that out.
Let's get this over with.
But yeah,
Great.
a full remake as we're seeing this right now, I don't think you'll see.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on, I'm just finishing off this work text. See you later, and I'm back. Apologies. Something resonated with me more about Final 8 than Final 7. Just, I like the Gunblades, I like Squall.
Go ahead and keep whatever we collect. Seeing as you didn't bring any luggage, I'm guessing there's stuff.
Do I need to collect stuff? Buy some stuff.
And don't worry, we'll pay you the difference after. Barrett's out making his rounds too.
As long as I get it all today.
Hopefully we'll get an update on the
So any clues, Stol? Where should I be going? What should I be doing?
Following her. Follow Tifa, mate.
Oh, I thought I was going to get some clothes. Turns out I took that work text that probably...
Get some clothes, mate. Get that new dress you're after. Those high heels that you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I do look forward to reminiscing on those summits. Genova, man. Such a good shout. Shout out Alex. Sure, for reminding me.
Yeah, it'll come up. You'll fight against Genova as well in this game. I find it's the hipster coffee shop.
I know, throw hawk and all. What are we back in Australia? What's going on?
I'll have my coffee through a Chemex filter, please.
I'm your man.
In your dreams, man.
I'll take a latte, but soya and decaf.
Since we're here, maybe we should do a little
shopping.
Suppose I could take a look.
So, you know what you're doing right now? You're basically walking around being Tifa's bodyguard. Not really, that's an overstatement. But you're just basically helping her collect filters. Or exchange filters, because she has previously gone around to businesses and sold filters and she's exchanging them for fresh ones. And she wants money or whatever. That's basically her side hustle.
So am I selling or buying?
I don't think you need any of that.
Cool.
Nothing to tickle your fancy.
Wait, what were the accessories?
Change your mind, you know
Can you go in? Don't.
We'll see you
I know you're
you're
a little behind the stream.
Yeah, it's fine.
And go back to him. I mean, they wanted me to buy.
You don't need to. I don't think he's got anything of significance at the moment. But just follow Tifa because the better things are coming up.
All the items you could want. He's a regular. Stock up here, and he might throw in a freebie or two.
For you, maybe.
Well, you could try being a little nicer.
Mate, I don't need to. All the monsters I fight give me all the items I need.
Is that the case in this game? Yeah.
Our next stop
For the most
is
part.
Stargazer Heights. Landlady's a client.
Just met her.
I like her
And you
kind
know
of
what to
arm
expect.
shield.
Remember, she's a good
Yeah.
friend of Avalanche, so be
Menacing.
nice. Please.
Can't help but take a little.
Shout out to her boots, her red shoes. Cyrus.
I've always found her hair to be an interesting animal.
Weirdly, I would say that every female in this game is a wingnut. It's just hidden by their hair.
Got some filters for you.
Tifa!
How do you feel about the relationship between Marl and Tifa?
Oh, what's he doing here?
Working?
I don't know
Be
it.
nice.
I'll have a listen.
Cloud's helping me with collections.
You better take
Her
care
eyes
of
are
her.
crazy,
I'm
man.
pretty
I
good
don't
at
remember
taking care
that
of
in Final
myself,
7.
you know.
That I do. Still, better him than you. No charm.
This old
no
lady
wit,
looks like she should be
big
out of the
sword,
fucking
but no
Pixar film.
skills.
I've got skills.
Be nice.
Alright, quickly
doing
sneak,
my
best.
sneak a peer out of the fridge
You're
while the
looking
cutscene's
awful
going on.
glum. Are you getting enough sleep? A good long rest to cure anything, I tell you.
A tried and true
Well,
lesson for
okay,
life on the
basically-
ground floor. Am I right?
That you are.
You've got this relationship between
Your money.
Marl and
Thanks,
Tifa.
Marl.
Marl is
You take
the
care of yourself.
protective
Don't
mother,
do anything I wouldn't do.
godmother type who comes a little hard. She comes down hard a little bit on Cloud, and she's giving him a bit of crap, to be honest. Just like, hey, take care of Tifa, otherwise. And it's just like,
Wait.
woman,
Marl's
are
that
you-
old
are
lady?
you- Yeah. It's like,
Oh, I
woman,
thought you were talking
are
about
you
Marlene.
necessary right now?
I thought you were talking about
Marlene.
Marlene.
Yeah, I
me set
know.
up back in the day.
Names are confusing, aren't they?
In here,
How could this dude
Yeah.
still push ups on the top? I'm with you, bro.
Never mind
Take the
that.
day off.
Yeah, dude,
We've
that's
gotta get you your
that's like
money.
the gym, like the
Last
training
stop
house
is
from the
weapons
original.
store.
Anyway, it's a weird interaction. Like that's something that always got to me. It's just like, who are you, Marl? Why are you intruding on our relationship? Like, I'm just some dude, and you want to just go in and insult me like that? Like, big sword, no wit.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Do you know me? I'm Cloud. I'm a mercenary. Anyway, going in because the next bit.
Hey, that last filter didn't do shit.
We're so sorry about that. Hopefully this one will work better.
Save your excuses
I may have
and get
missed this.
out.
What do the filters do?
All right. If you could just
Water
settle your
filters,
bill,
just
we'll be on
filtering
our way.
clean water.
Oh,
Hell,
gotcha.
You charging me for your
I thought
busted
coffee
ass
filters or
goods?
something.
My associate handles payment disputes.
Think you can mosey up in here and have it your way?
I love that. I love that shop vendor. He's so good.
Thank you
I
very
guess
much.
he's slicked back.
Seeing as
200
we're
gil.
done with our
Get in.
rounds and you've got a small fortune now, why not take a gander at the weapons?
Well, when will Barrett be back with the rest?
Before we open up tonight. It'll be a while yet.
He just wants his cash so he can get out.
What do you want to do?
Don't really know.
In that case, I've got a suggestion. Want to hear it? If you're serious about becoming a merc, then you're going to need to start making connections. It's not what you know, but who you know, you know?
You know?
Another lesson for life on the ground floor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Connections
no.
get you jobs. Jobs build your rep. And more rep gets you better connections.
How do I start?
Tifa's like a cross between Anne
Why not help
Hathaway.
out the neighborhood watch?
And
They're mostly volunteers, but you'll get to know people.
can't think of another actress at the moment.
Yeah,
So she's
okay.
Anne Hathaway.
Didn't see anybody
Damn,
at the
she does have
office.
some big wing,
So let's
wing
head up
nuts.
top.
I never noticed that until you said that.
All of them do. All of them do. Even
Way
Eric.
to keep you and your family safe, and with a weapon of your own.
They clearly don't have ear pinning in this.
Well, go back
universe.
to the weapons vendor, mate. He's
Oh,
got some.
do I have
He's got
to?
some swords for you.
Okay. But I like the Buster Sword.
I like the Buster Sword too, but trust
Yo!
me, it's
Shout out to the weapons vendor.
Staff to find the perfect weapon for you and your needs.
Holy shit, I need you to do something, Oliver, right now while you're on a device that can Google something.
I ain't got
tell
nothing
me.
for a
The
punk
weapons
ass bitch
vendor
like
voice
you.
sounds like
Get on outta
Mirage
here.
from Apex Legends.
Huh? I ain't got nothing for a punk ass bitch
Actually,
like
it doesn't
you.
anymore.
Get
But
on
when
outta
in the
here.
distance, it does. I don't think they're the same person, but there's someone who says like, "Yo, come get all your needs."
No better way to keep you and your
Yes,
family safe
this
than with
bald
a weapon
guy.
of your own. Come and check out our selection. Speak with our friendly staff to find the perfect weapon for you and your needs.
Or if you just want to look up Mirage from Apex,
dude. He's not even the main weapons vendor. I'm never going to be able to get that.
I know for sure though. It's identical.
You can get your sword from the weapons vendor.
But
He's
it
got a
wouldn't
sword
allow
for you
me to
already.
interact
Way
with
to
him.
keep you and your family safe.
The other guy was like, ain't got
Yeah,
nothing
not
for a
that
punk
guy.
ass
The other
bitch.
one.
Bitch like
Yeah,
you.
this guy.
Get on out
The
of
bald
here.
guy, yeah.
Ah, ain't gonna have no punk ass
Yeah.
bitch like you. That's hilarious. Yeah, okay, later. You need it. Okay, so basically that's really cool, because what he's saying is, you've got no rep, dude. You need to build up your rep to be able to, you know, negotiate and deal with me. So
Gotcha.
let's get on top of that. Follow
you were
Tifa.
holding down the fort.
Go to Charlie Sheen and
Oh, hey, Cloud.
Yeah,
Looking
Charlie
at the
Sheen
neighborhood watch?
and Badger. Yeah.
That depends.
I'm gonna let you do that while I
What is this
take a
neighborhood
quick
watch?
Go for it, go
bathroom
for
break.
it.
Lots of stuff, really. But our top priority is taking care of any beasts that wander into town. That, and teaching the locals how to defend themselves.
Like they say, the only one who will look out for you is you.
Cloud's a great fighter, but only we know that. If no one knows him, no one will hire him. Thought if he joined the watch, he could get his name out there.
That would work for everybody.
Truth be told, we could really use your
This
help.
guy, man, I just can't
can't
stop
pay
hearing
you to
Badger
kill,
now. All I
but
see
we'll work
is
something
Charlie
out.
Sheen as well.
For example...
Yo, tell me that ain't
like
Charlie
your sword.
Sheen right there.
I could mod it for you.
No thanks. It's fine just the way it is.
Don't touch my
What,
sword,
you
bro.
some kind of purist? I know I'd never pass up a chance to improve my gear. Come on. At least let me show you how it's done.
I'm convinced that's Charlie Sheen down to the speech, the accents in the tone. I'm iffy on him touching my Buster Sword. Okay, you can now enhance your weapons. Spend skill points to unlock special skills. I will skip this because I'm sure Oliver will be back soon. Pardon me, sorry. And he will tell me. Upgrade weapons. Buster Sword. Loading up the PC, bit of an intel there. Skill list, attack power, Buster Sword core, attack power, magic power, enhanced Punisher. I mean, I think by a basic, it's probably good to go attack power, unlock the skill, yes. I'm sure when Oliver returns, he's going to have some sort of opinion on what I should have done properly there. I have still some skill points, 6 left, so we'll save them. We'll save them for him. Magic power, I don't think it's too important. Max HP, always good to have. You never know how much damage you're going to take in these games. But I think Enhanced Punish is probably the next. I think Oliver's just returned now, so we can talk to him about it. So, I had these skill points, as you would be very clearly aware of. I bought the attack power. My guess is, most games, the first thing I want to do is increase my attack based on my playstyle. I like to just get in there and get dirty. Now, I still got 6 to spend, so magic power, max HP, or... I was going to do the enhanced Punisher, because I feel it fits more my playstyle, but if you have any recommendations on how I should spend this last 6p in this first initial upgrade of the Buster Sword.
Wow. That's pretty significant. A 5% damage boost to Punisher mode. All you need to do is change over to Punisher mode and you're immediately doing 5% more damage. That sounds exponentially more advantageous to you.
We're doing
or
it.
beneficial to you. Yeah, I'd probably go that. But just a general sort of statement to weapon enhancements. You're best just putting it onto an automatic setting for the time being. You can choose whether it's, you know, attack, defense, or I don't know, balance or neutral or whatever. Upgrade.
Weapon upgrade settings.
Weapon upgrade
Balance,
settings. Yeah, you know. So, whoever you're dealing with there, just set the setting which you think is more interesting, and
I'll always roll with balance. This is my beef right here on my screen. Is Cloud looking all Cloud? I just missed that little animation. His little like animated portfolio, his face like sideways
his
looking.
face,
yeah, it's cool. It's a cool upgrade. What do you expect? This is good. This guy is Charlie Sheen, by the way. His tone, his cadence, and his speech. Whoever the voice actor is clearly taking on Charlie Sheen.
Spread the word to everyone who listen about the new Merc in town.
Charlie Sheen.
Him and Wedge,
He kind of looks like him too.
there isn't
To be fair.
anyone they don't know.
I mean, shout out to Biggs as well. 2.5 men with Wedge. Literally 2 men and half man right there.
Where are these monsters?
Well, yeah, 2.5.
Hey, Cloud.
It was a fat joke. And calm down,
No,
people. I can make that
I've
joke
got
because I'm
this.
super overweight as well. So fuck off.
You don't know the way, do you?
Lead on.
Can you not throw your
Sure
weight
thing.
privilege
I
around?
know
in
these
this
streets better than
room,
anyone.
please?
Oh, let's go! Tifa Lockhart, join the party. You motherfuckers. Get in. Barrett, where are you? You dropped, bro. You're done. You're done out
He's
here.
gone.
You're done. Don't
Gone.
give me a choice. Oh, there's a little canister there. Alright. Oh, how good's this guy doing chin-ups on the fucking stairwell? Get in, my guy. Everyone
Dude,
here is
the
like...
dude doing squats. How good's the dude doing squats just to your right? Like, it's so throwback to the original, because you would walk into this exact building you're in right now, and there's just dudes doing squats, and it's just like...
I'm
it's
more
like,
partial
what's this guy
to
doing?
chin-up guy. These boys are talking the talk. Get it, have it, and this guy's just slaying them. He hasn't even put his feet on the ground once. You could watch him for hours.
Mate,
That guy's
his
got-
forearms are as big as my...
Mate, triceps
Thighs.
and biceps for days. You need to unscrew a jam jar.
Scrap
That's your
Boulevard
boy.
is out west. Past the barricades, supposed to keep the monsters out.
Alright, let's get out of
Anyway,
here.
we
Let's
should
get out of
prepare.
here.
Yeah, let's get moving. Let's get moving and shaking. There's some things to do. We got
Let's
monsters
get-
to kill here.
let's
go
get
back
moving and shaking.
towards the other direction. And
Cool,
you
I
have a
didn't realize
little
that's where
wall
the
to your left.
Cool.
Yep.
There's the gym.
So you'll see some numbers up on the wall.
Why did they
and,
put... Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to run past that, I guess, and
Friends
keep going.
slain this month.
Yeah. Fiends
Oh,
slain
fiends.
this month.
Sorry, fiends.
Yeah.
I apologize. Fiends slain this
Friends.
month.
I just
Friends.
remember slain my friends.
I
don't know
thought it
about
was
you,
like
but-
how well you. What are we in Abe's Oddworld here? I'm trying to protect everyone. Fiends? No, I can get down with that. I'm going on a killing spree. Let's do it.
No, it is a turn around because you go in the right direction. You want to go up that alley. That alley is your.
I'm following
target.
the pathway with this fence. There we go. Boy. I wish Tifa good luck, not me. Alright, mate.
I can see why
Cool,
monsters
so is
would
this...
right at home.
Mate, he's absolutely right in
The more
saying
we
that.
pile up,
Build
the more they
your
show up.
rep. You've
Is
got
this-
no rep. You've got no standing in this town. Who are you? Walk around here with your gigantic sword. Who do you think you are? You own the place or something? Alright, mate.
Fair. Is this like
Prove your
revenant?
worth.
Is this from the explosion? Of
No.
Midgar, or is this just here?
No,
so
it's construction, really.
Just slums. Okay.
You are in Sector 7, but you can see, have a look above you. I love this detail. You can see the construction of a plate. Oh no, you're kind of like not in the right section. If you go back to where you were, you can see that plate above you.
I can see it. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. You'll see it in like 2 seconds.
And it no, you're not quite right.
No, you see it. See it. Here it comes. Is that what you're talking about? Construction?
No. It's still not. No. So
it certainly looks like construction.
Turn to your left at like 45 degrees and then upwards, basically. But
take
some steps.
Boom! There it is. It's getting built. Gotcha. Yep. Nailed it. Talk on that for a second. I'll have Brad pissing.
So, for all of you who have played the game, haven't played the game, for those of you who haven't, it could be a spoiler, but anyway, if you are deep into the lore of Final Fantasy VII, you will know that whilst Sector 6 was under construction, the plate fell, and that is why you have the destroyed area where, destroyed Sector 6, which is where Aerith comes from, or Aerith, depending on whichever one you please. And that's why when we look up into the sky right now, you can see that it's still under construction. They've only got so far with it because, it fell under construction when they were building Sector 6. So it's a good little bit of lore, and I love that they actually inserted that into the remake here. And Eris will talk about it later when we get up to that point.
Nice.
Dude, I'm trying to trigger so many people here by saying Eris.
What's the correct pronunciation? Like, I mean, I guess.
Oh, it's such a controversial thing. Like, do you know when I first played this game, I was calling it Midjar, and I was calling him Sephiroth. So my pronunciations for different things in this game are just like so crazy. Yeah, get in there and hack them up there. But switch over to Tifa.
Don't overdo it.
Give her a bit of a whirl, like it's fun. With Cloud, it's a little too easy. They just die like 2 seconds. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Tifa's my jam. I very enjoyed that hit combo. Yeah.
Yeah, my pronunciation is just crazy. But to the Aerith story. Basically, the story goes like this.
Here we go. It's on you.
Apparently, the developers intended.
Yo, Tifa's got a shuriken. Shuriken. Shout out to Ryu and Ken.
Whirling uppercut. Yep. So, the developers intended on creators of the game intended on calling her Aerith, but through translations of the letters or whatever from Japanese to English, there was a mistranslation, and the character that they used, or the letter of the alphabet they used for the sound that they were trying to reproduce came out as an S. And so they put an S there, whereas what they wanted was a TH, like a sound, not a S.
It's a little surprising.
So I heard there's a lot of issues with that, with the translations more specifically.
That one's gonna be on the test.
This a lesson?
Gotta learn if you're gonna stick around.
What do you mean?
Okay.
I can't remember any specifics, but I remember that, like, translations in terms of, even down to spoilers on the back of the old game boxes. They had, like, spoilers of Aerith death, or Aerith death. See, I always called her Aerith. And, what did you say, Midgard?
Midjar.
Midjar. I used to call it Midjar because you called it Midjar. I think, in matter of fact...
No, but we met each other, like, 10 years after we played the game, so what did you call her when you were a kid? I'd like to know that.
I can't remember, but...
And did you call him Sephiroth, or did you call him Sephiroth? What did I used to call him? Sephiroth.
Of course not. Even so, folks will be grateful for the peace and quiet in the
You're gonna laugh at this.
A win's a win, you
know?
know?
Do you not remember this?
Trust me,
I called him Sephiroth, and you were like,
let's go check in with
Sephiroth. And I was like, I feel like a dumbass. In my mind, I spoke to myself. I was like, you always do this, Anthony. You always fuck it up with new friendships. Sephiroth. What a dumbass.
Of course, it was always Sephiroth. It always was.
Sephiroth, mate. Sephiroth. Oh yeah,
No, it was
Sephiroth.
Sephi, mate. Sephi all the time, mate. Yeah.
I want to shout out. He's not watching at the moment, but he's on my PlayStation Friends and he streams as well. His name's Ross, and he's a guy I work with, and his PlayStation handle is Sephiroth. It's such a good fucking PlayStation handle. He's a big fan.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was like, fucking well played for that. I'm gonna just breeze through this. I don't want to look. I don't want to.
You're done. You've done. You can exit this now, and you can carry on with the other.
Cool.
What do you call that?
Side missions.
Side quests.
Or
that's
side
it.
quests.
Yeah.
So we didn't touch on this. We touched on it briefly about Final 8, but I'm more leaning towards Final 8 because I like Squall a lot more. But
you liked the characters. Well, you didn't even mention the story. You said you were hot on the characters of FF8, but you didn't actually say that the story was something that interested you.
Well, I was about to say
Tell
this
me.
because the story, lo and behold, wait. Is this the guy? Where's the guy? Where's
Yeah, have you built up enough red to get your sword, mate?
Yeah.
No, not that guy. The other one.
For a punk-ass bitch like you? Come and check out
Punk
our
ass bitch! Bitch, meet me over this counter. Come on,
Yeah.
bro.
weapon for you
I can't even interact with this dude.
Yeah. Exit and then talk to some people outside the sign of fiends that you've killed. Just try and talk to a couple of guys around there because I'm sure someone will be like,
big
mate,
my rep
yeah,
up.
Yeah. Oh, just to acknowledge your rep. Wrong way.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Here we go. One of these guys here.
This last year.
You're the murder
Yeah, talk to
everybody's
her.
talking about. Am I right?
Yeah.
I knew it. So,
Yeah,
the
man.
board here tracks how many monsters folks have taken down, right? A bigger number means a safer town. And who
Oh,
wouldn't want
okay. Safer town.
Just
I'm
between
with
you
you.
and me, though, they're pretty much all your kills. Cool, huh? Anyway, keep up the good work. We'll try to make it worth your while.
Shout out the Apex tracker of Final Fantasy VII Remake. View rewards confirmed. We do this. Okay. Now I go back into this punk ass bitch. His words, not mine. He's still not happy.
like you? Get on out of here.
What have you done, Mullet? Not
Yeah,
Halo
alright.
stuff.
You need to go back out there and have a look at that list of things that she said you should do. Because I think she gave you a clear path to victory there.
But it's telling me my 54 meters that way. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. Doesn't look like a merc. Excuse you, you stand by a fence all day. I'm getting quite offended by these people. I've got an 8-foot sword on my back. What do you have? Come on. Nope.
I'm so happy that you're struggling with this because this isn't something that I experienced. Because when I went out here to do this, I just went overkill. You know, I killed like 20 million monsters. Yeah, exaggeration, of course. But I didn't spend the time. Well, I spent the time here, and then when I got back out, it was just like everyone was praising me, like, "Oh, you're the best merc ever." And maybe you haven't killed enough monsters or something. And
I'm not doing more than 2 laps of this place. I've done 1 already. There's
well,
nothing
there
here.
doesn't seem to be anything for you to kill.
No. Okay. So we follow this place, we go back down.
Yeah, okay, there's nothing for you to kill, dude. So it means there's another side quest to do, and I know which one it is, but...
I miss these boxes, to be fair.
mate, they just regenerate.
Shout out to boxes, they're empty. Cool story. Whoop, already got that material.
Yep, material's gone, mate. Yeah, let's try and find some more side quests.
We're talking about Final Fantasy VIII, and...
Yeah, we keep on going back and forth with this. We really need to nail this out.
This came to a point where I was very drunk one night, and we were talking about playing games when you used to live in London, and I was kind of like... I remember talking to you about Final 8, and I was just like, yeah, this is so good. This bit, and you were like, whoa, is that the only bit you've experienced? And I'm like, yeah, and you were like, you know there's like
Dude, just quickly, keep going up that way, and then look for a...
Yeah, I'm
Don't
going.
go into the shop, but
no, I'm going
keep going past this building.
Yeah, here we go. This is where I need to go.
Back already?
Gotcha.
Go...
Got every last one too. Now the
Oh,
slum should
yeah,
be safe.
talk to, that's
guys
it.
are machines.
There it is.
Good job.
Cool.
Talk to Charlie
Meanwhile,
Sheen
we
and
told everyone we could
Fat
about
Badger.
you.
Badger Man,
So I
yeah.
heard.
But yeah, I remember you saying like, oh, you're only up to this bit in Final 8. You've only done like 30% of the game.
It'll pay off soon enough.
And I was like, do I
promise.
remember finishing it? No, I
How's the
don't.
sword,
Maybe
by
I
the
just
way?
left it. Because I just got so enthralled with playing cards. Bow, ba
Glad to
bow,
hear
ba
it.
bow, ba bow, ba bow, ba bow,
Like the
ba bow,
perfect
ba
ship
bow,
shield.
ba.
Yeah.
So good. So good in there.
You okay?
Cloud's mental state.
He's just having an episode. He
Having
does
an
that
episode.
from time to time.
After you left the
The old
village.
Cloud with his robot masturbating arm.
It's a long story.
I've got time. Why don't you tell me all about it while we try to rustle up some more work for you?
That sounds great. I'll come too.
Did you get that robot
no, you
arm,
won't.
Cloud?
Yeah.
It's a
Now you
long
do.
story.
Go on.
Maybe next time.
No fair.
Think about it for a second. They haven't seen each other in years. You'd be a third wheel.
Yo, that dude's for sure Charlie Sheen. 100.
Hey, before we get back to it, why don't you check out the weapons?
No need.
Come on, the dealer's probably heard all about you by now.
Yes, he
Might
has
treat
heard
you
about
better.
me.
I
Punk
don't
ass
know about
bitch.
that.
Finally, you're not a punk-ass bitch anymore.
Don't try anything funny or you'll get it. The kids seem to think you're pretty cool.
Gotta stay focused.
Where was the dealer? This way.
Safe. Kill it.
Weapons.
Yeah.
Oh.
Heard there's a merc that'll take on any monster. You the man?
Word spreads fast around here.
What if I am?
Sorry about before. I get antsy when business is slow. Man in your line of work needs weapons, no? Why
How's
not try
about-
that one on for size?
No, mate.
Yours on the
You get
house.
antsy when business is slow.
Badass like you rocking my weapons is good
How about you
advertising.
make
Think about
your
it.
problems not my problems? Because that has
Or
nothing
if
to
you
do
wanna
with
take a
me
look at something
whatsoever.
else.
You want business, I'll come and buy
Just a look.
big iron weapons. I do
Don't
not
make
need you.
your problems my problem. Oh, okay. Iron Bangle Star Bracelet. Iron Bangle has 1 materia slot. Star Bracelet has 2. 1600 gil.
Yeah. Do you want to outlay that for both you and Tifa? Yeah, do it.
I can go back 4 power wrist guards. All right. Star Bracelet 1600 gil. 2. I can't tell how many. Where's my gil? How much gil do I have?
Bottom left.
Oh, 2 grand. 2 grand. 2
Yeah,
grand.
you got
1600.
no money, mate.
Man, I'm
You got
going
no
16.
money.
Yeah, I bought that one. Come on, I'm a baller. It's fun. It's fine. We got it. Wrist guards, bulletproof vest, earrings. Okay, I've got 400.
Yeah.
I can't afford any of that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can
Charges-
you sell though? Can you sell those old bangles?
Weapons. Ooh, now we're talking. Ice material. I have ice material? Where did that come from? Antidote? Grenade? I tell you what,
items are
I've got
good to sell.
6 grenades, bro. Do you want them? Buy them. Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Don't be a stranger.
That didn't that didn't fatten your wallet to any degree.
It did not. Shows how much emphasis this game places on
The guy who
grenades.
tracks all the requests that come to the watch. You never know. Could toss some work your way.
Where's he at?
Yo, if I met
Oh,
someone like
he should
Tifa
be
in
back
real
at the
life
office
with
by now.
eyes as red as those, I'd walk away.
You'd be like, have you been possessed by a demon?
I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were from the Omen. I'm good, thank you.
Searching for candidates.
Hey there, Tifa.
Alright, old
Need
man
a
wants to have a chat with you.
Actually, I wanted to introduce you to an old friend of mine.
How good's
This is
Flat
Cloud.
Cap?
He's a merc.
Didn't know Guy Ritchie was in this film.
You don't say.
Flat cap and
Well,
beard,
we're always
yeah.
on the lookout for experienced
He
fighters
loves
to
it.
help us deal with the bigger critters.
I'll take on anything. For the right price, that is.
Experienced and cocky, huh? If it's a challenge you want, I might have a few good ones. Your clients can fill you in on the details. Prove yourself at these jobs, and I'll see if I can't find you some more.
Thanks.
What accent is that? Odd jobs, quest. Guess what?
Candidate
Not
detected.
interested. Excuse me, who are
Performing
you?
Physical analysis. Sizable weapon, excellent cardiovascular health, and impressive lung capacity. Perfectly balanced muscle and bone structure.
He's
An
clearly not
optimal
talking about me.
candidate. My name is Chadley. I'm an intern for Shinra's Research and Development Division. I hope you'll be interested in helping me with my research. Please accept this as a down payment. I would like you to set that assess materia in your equipment and use it to gather intelligence in battle. This data will help me to develop new types of materia.
I'm not interested in working for Shinra.
You should know that I work actively to undermine Shinra's
So
efforts.
if you remember what sense used to
I'm
be,
sure
the sense
you of all
materia,
people can appreciate the tremendous power of materia,
it's basically assesses
as well
sense
as how it
materia.
might be wielded against your corporate enemies. And if you later decide that
I just
am not
noticed
worthy
Cloud's
of your
like
trust,
long
you can
fringe.
do what you do best.
I will
Kind of very
hold you to
emo,
that.
isn't it?
Excellent. Then we shall work together.
Well, he's blonde,
long
so
as
it
you
doesn't
deem
really
fit.
fit to the emo
Once you've
image.
completed
But
your task,
take a good look
please
at
return
Chadley
and
for me.
report to
Can you just analyze this character for me? We'll talk afterwards.
Missions for Chadley, he'll develop new kinds of materia. So cool, keep sense materia on, he'll develop new materia for you.
Please set the orb of assess materia to your equipment and use it to gather battle intel.
I mean, he's got some like robotic insect on his eye. I'm good with
Fair
Chadley.
observation.
He freaks me out.
But I just, like, okay, I gotta be honest with you. I don't have any massive gripes with Chadley as a whole. I know that he did upset some people, but you gotta be honest. Aesthetically, he strongly sticks out in comparison to any other character that's around him. It doesn't matter what environment Chadley's in, he always sticks out like a sore thumb.
I mean, his backpack's the size of him, so that's a bit off-putting.
And he's like this blonde Aryan kid, and he's got this very
Aryan.
colourful, like,
You'll never want for work around here. if you
handkerchief
prove yourself useful.
tied into his backpack there. Yeah, no, dude,
Do
he's
me proud now, and I
he's
just
an
might have more
oddball.
work for you
He's,
later.
he's very odd looking, and
You're gonna have to talk to your
the way he
clients
acts
if you
as
want
well.
all the details.
Yeah, I'm not with him, you're right. Okay, cool. So, where do I... He's got the main mission marker above him, though. Oh, do I have to equip this materia?
You should jump onto your map and see what's available to you.
Bronze bangle. Iron bangle. Get in. No. Star bracelet. There we go. Chakra. Deadly dodge. Oh, okay. Cloud has his. Ice. Is there any others? They're all done. Cool.
Introduce yourself to the
My map. How do you look at? Okay. Where am I?
So basically, you've got all your side quests on here now. You can see down to the bottom right the green exclamation mark. Okay, that is a quest to do.
Where's the story mission? That's what I want.
The story mission would be for you to go and complete these activities.
What, the rat problem? Chadley's report? This is the story? Oh, they've lost
You can skip most of this stuff, but there's a certain amount you need to do to be able to continue the storyline.
Okay, I'm gonna do the rats.
Yeah. But
you've lost me on this, though. You've lost me on this.
Well, that's the thing, you know. Like, a lot of people feel this way.
Yeah, don't make out like it's a side quest and then actually make you do it. Like, you either need to do it or you don't. Where's this rat problem? 47 meters, 41 meters?
You need to go back to the first guy you ever, the first store owner you ever saw.
This guy. Frohawk Man.
Hey there, Tifa. Welcome back. And you, the new merc in town looking for work, right?
Yeah.
In that case, maybe you could do something about the Doom Rats? Them and
The
their
Doom
were-rat
Rats?
buddies have been tearing up town looking for
Yeah, the
food
Doom
and
Rats.
whatnot. Got into the store and made one hell of a mess, let me tell you. Oh, you think that's funny, do you? Don't lie.
Okay,
I saw you
look.
crack a smile. Well,
I gotta
do
get some
the
stuff
job
out.
And you can laugh it up for all I
I am so on
They're
board
probably
with
nesting in the outskirts. Now I've heard a
Cloud's
will call its friends for help.
sole
And the whole
job
rat
right
pack will
now
come running
is
just
to
like that.
basically build up his reputation as a mercenary. Yeah, that seemed like such a logical bridge for me. I was actually very pleased with the developers taking the storyline with Cloud. Yeah, of course he needs to build his rep up. Like, that's his thing. You know, he is he's a mercenary.
What's up? Yeah.
Hey, you go, astronaut. How's it going? So I'm actually really pleased with the fact that they took this direction with Cloud and his storyline. So it seemed like a very logical step for me, and I'm glad they did that. I can understand the gripes with his jobs. What, you got to clean a rat infestation? Is that your job?
I'm going the right way, right? I'm going this way for the rats.
No, up the stairs.
This one, yeah. Okay, cool, gotcha. Sweet, yeah. I completely agree. It's just, don't make it out like it's a side quest. I mean, we're nitpicking here. Is what it is. Oh, here's the rats. Ratty rat, let's go. I want to be Tifa. Tifa's the bomb. Let's go, Tifa. Let's get your shuriken out. Shuriken. Nope, that's not it. I don't know what I did there. Dope. Oh, they're done. Nope, one more. Poor rats. They're just scavenging. I
don't see
what's up, girl astronaut? How you doing?
What do you think?
Have you played this before,
You know
or...?
what? This might be a waste of time.
I mean, this is my first playthrough, so maybe you can enlighten myself on where to go next. Oliver's obviously got some really good commentary on this. So we go back, right, Stol?
Yeah, you've annihilated the problem to begin with, and yeah. But just while you're here, turn around and go back. You want to go down the other alley there for... No, okay, too late.
No.
Oh, okay. You're doing it? Yeah, so instead of going into that place where the rats were, you want to just turn right at the end of that tunnel. Don't go past the pub.
Yep, gotcha. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, there's basically another fellow there at the end, and he's got a stall, and he's got another side quest for you.
This guy.
The leader of the Rat Pack is the worst of them all.
The leader of the Rat Pack.
Squeaking. Johnny liked to mimic it until we told him to cut that shit out.
No, it's not this guy who's the Undercity resident. You got to go to the end of where you basically go.
Oh, yep, I see him sitting in front of these
There'll be a guy with a stall.
Hello. Junk dealer, the junk dealer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're that merc I've heard so much about.
Man, our reputation precedes us. We're the merc everyone's heard about.
People were right. You look like you can handle yourself.
Word spreads fast in the Sector 7 slums.
Can't have that kind of trouble around here. My regulars will do anything to get their hands on the scrap in there, and if they run into those drakes, they could get hurt.
I'll handle it.
What's the drakes?
Much obliged, sir.
Yeah, monsters. Want to get you. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm pretty stoked with the fact that basically what he's been tasked to do with is protect this township from external threats. Fantastic. These drakes are probably a fair example of that. However, I don't think rats are. You know what? I'm going to throw out one of the things that I think this game should have.
Go on,
which
please, tell me.
It doesn't. The external threats to Sector 7 should be gangs, nefarious people from other sectors, like Sector 6, like Wall Market, that come over and walk around, just like Robin Hood, demanding things like taxes and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Like roughing up stuff and roughing up stall owners here.
Oh my god, I just remembered who Girl Astronaut is. Just after our latest message. Do you remember, Stol?
No, who's Girl Astronaut?
It's Monica. This is her other account, because she usually comes under Schismatic, remember?
Yeah, gotcha.
So, this is so good, because Monica watched Marcus play through this fucking game, and she was not impressed. But yeah, I get what you're saying, like, having to, it seems like a way more profitable thing to have a mercenary defend your town from mercenaries or robbers or pillagers than rats.
Well, I just think it makes for a much more cooler storyline in that you're building yourself as a mercenary, and these external threats should also be walking around with giant swords on their backs. I think that would make for a much cooler story.
Yeah, I agree.
If I'm able to put any suggestions towards the
am I not supposed to go to this guy?
Developers. No, because you annihilated the threat of the rats from the store owner. You need to go to the store owner.
Oh, this guy. I'm shocked. Cool. Cool. Hey, mate, I got your rats. What's going on, Mon?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if, how do you feel about this game after watching Marcus play it through? Because you've never actually played the original, have you? Dare I say, it's a little too old for you.
Which is nice and all, but the job was to wipe out the Doom rats. No biggie.
The original's too old for her, or the...
Yeah, for sure. Monica's a little bit younger than us.
Until they show. You'll
okay,
get them this time
right, gotcha.
for sure.
Dude, do you remember how old we are? We just talked about playing this game when we were 11.
Well, it's amazing that we can fit, like, 3 decades into our lives. So, yeah.
Dude, you're gonna be doing this with the kids soon. Shout out that. Oh, shout out to Monica, who's probably gonna be doing it with a kid sooner than most. A couple of weeks, man.
Lots of Corona babies on the way.
Yeah. Level so old. Well, yeah, mate. This quirky young soldier, I am fucking had enough of you, Chadley. I ain't about that. Lost friends, talk to Betty. Alright, Betty. Betty Boop, let's go.
Yeah, okay.
I'm bringing in Hathaway with me.
Fantastic side quest. You just need to find our lost cats. Sorry to do like a spoiler there. But I think there are much more interesting things to talk about, and Final Fantasy VII, I think, is what we should be talking about. So, what we saw and what we brushed over is basically something else that really gets to me about the remake, and it's that they more or less destroyed one of the most
well, you can see
touching interactions
the
between...
quarantines worked out for us as well. Yeah, go on, Stol.
Yeah, one of the most touching interactions between the two of the most main characters of this game. Okay. So basically what you're expecting is when you are an OG player and you come into the remake and you're like, ooh, really looking out for Cloud meeting Eris. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see how they do that in beautiful graphics, with music, amplify everything, and then for them to just do what they did. Remind me, Anthony, what did they do at that moment?
Before I answer that, I want to say, question, is every female in this game got wingnut?
I think you did address that before.
FA Cup, for real.
It seems to be a common trait, yeah.
Yeah. What did they do with Eris, or whatever? Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
The meeting of Cloud and Eris when they first met each other.
Will was in the middle as we blew up the reactor and I was running through. Wait, where am I supposed to be going?
No, dude. Flower Girl. When did Flower Girl meet Cloud?
Yeah, she gave him the daff.
Yeah. But it was interrupted, wasn't it?
It
was interrupted. Yes, I agree, Monica. It's a personally...
A lot of people stop to play with them there.
Wait.
What's the source of
where do we need to go? I'm confused by the map. Is the blue triangle the one we need to go towards? Oh, help me out here.
No, okay, so you're not being told where the cats are. You basically have to find the cats, the little girl. And they're hidden around the map here. There's 3 of them. I can give you some hints. There's one at the pub, if you want to go up there.
That is the dumbest side quest ever.
Yeah. Go to the pub just to begin with,
first
and then I'll tell you where the
a
other
little
2
far out the fantasy realm for what I would play. Yes, Monica, I kind of agree with you. Agree, disagree in terms of... We touched on this very early in the stream, me and Oliver, and how this is... It's a game that kind of brought me and Oliver together, weirdly. We talked about it. Do you want to touch on that, Oliver, and how...
I do. I would love to talk about this. Just to your right, not in the pub. Yep. So, this particular game is incredibly special because you're right. The Final Fantasy series, from 1 to 7 up until this point, the cat's on the veranda, mate. It's on the balcony.
I gotcha.
That was definitely a cat.
This game, Final Fantasy VII, was so special because up until 7, it had been, as you just said, all about fantasy, about magic, castles, magicians, spells, all these things. So, what does this game do that was different? Final Fantasy VII was not only the first game to arrive on PlayStation, it was also the first time Square had decided they wanted to promote this game to the Western market. So they decided, what can we do to make this appealing to Westerners?
What intel?
They tried to.
What intel?
They tried. Sorry.
Well, I said, what good intel, mate? You always come through in the
this is the thing. They tried to inject so many different Western aspects into this game, and they were drawing upon Western pop culture, such as, you know, this is an amazing tidbit, and I love this, is that, you know, Sephiroth's character is actually built on Jaws, on the Jaws films. Yeah, cool, right?
Oh,
and
with the music.
No, in the fact that you do not see him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The fact for like half the game you do not see him, and he's just this menacing thing you keep
Yo,
hearing
Oliver,
about.
Not to interrupt, you need to tell me where the second cat is. I don't want to waste time on this.
Yeah, I'll tell you where the second cat is. Just go right here.
Where?
Up, forward, through that alleyway. Keep going. And you'll find
here
in the middle of the block you're basically running around. There's an area that you haven't been inside of.
Gotcha. I see it on the map. I'll find it. You continue.
Yeah.
You're doing some great intel on Final 7.
Come on out.
So you basically just talk to that lady and then crawl underneath there. Yeah.
I wonder if he's coming.
Turn around. Turn around. There's a lady you just ran past who's got a
Mohawk lady,
green exclamation mark above her head. And
first lady we haven't got that's got a wingnut. I'm a NPC, no wingnut.
Anyway, so they draw upon pop culture to, as you just said, Wedge and Biggs. You know, the Japanese developers were such a fan of Western culture as well at the time. So these aren't the only things we see in the game. They wanted people to in the West to jump on board.
This sucks.
With this game, and that's why it's not as okay. There are magical elements. Yeah, there are fantastical elements of the game, but for someone who picked this game up in 1997, it didn't feel that way. It felt like something that might have even come out of the West because they had tried to appease us so much, and that's why it was so fun. It was just like, it's got this Dungeons and Dragons aspect to it where we're casting spells, but on the other hand, I've got this massive sword and I'm just chopping people up, and I've got this Gatling gun, I'm just tearing people down with a Gatling gun, like, I'm blowing up reactors.
Where's his next cat?
There's one last cat you need to get, and I would implore you to go over towards the arms dealer or vendor, wherever it was, rat area, and then you went down that hallway, there was a store there.
Okay. I'm with you. Yep, cool. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go back up that way. But that was the whole idea, to make this game accessible to us, and I think they did a fantastic job back in '97 because it was just like something we'd never ever seen before.
Didn't this game win a bunch of awards for
music? The music, it did. It won a lot of awards for the music.
Before you go on, Oliver, I want to tell Monica one thing. Oliver spoke to me one day. Am I going the right way for this?
No, you're not. Completely opposite end of the map.
That's the arms dealer.
No, you need to go back to where the rats were, into that cylinder bunker-looking type thing where you ran through to kill the cats. Sorry, not the cats, the rats.
Gotcha. So Monica, I was talking to Oliver one day, and I was like, "What are you up to this weekend?" And he was like, "I'm going to Berlin." I'm like, "Sweet. What are you doing there?" He's like, "I'm going to see an orchestra play Final Fantasy VII music." Am I right in saying that, Oliver? Do you remember that conversation?
Yep, that is what I did.
So yes, this game did win multiple awards. Not for this game, but this original score was just as good.
So, Ant, you're going the wrong way again. Sorry, dude.
Oh my
god.
god.
The Scrap Boulevard. Have a look on your map for where you killed the rats. That's where you need to go.
That's rats. I just killed rats.
Yeah, they're the were-rats. Yeah.
No holding
you're in
back.
Scrap Boulevard.
You're good at this.
Remember the first cafe you went? What did you call him, with a mohawk?
Yeah.
The dude with the mohawk?
Yeah, Mirage.
Where the dude is with the mohawk and where the pub is. Between them is an alleyway, and you go left up that alleyway, and that's where you'll find this, half cylindrical
cool
alleyway.
I want to show Monica This guy's voice. Does this sound like Mirage to you? Talk, bro. Oh, he's not talking. Not this guy, the other guy, the bald guy.
See anything you like?
Okay.
Speak
That's
with
Mirage,
our
right?
staff to find the perfect weapon for you and your needs. No better way to keep you and your family safe than with a weapon of your own. Come and
Shout
check
out
our
Mirage voice
selection.
actor. To me, that's Mirage, 100% from Apex Legends. Yeah, Stol, go on. Oliver is like the Wikipedia of Final Fantasy VII. Yes, this is why I've waited to do the playthrough with Oliver. For sure, Mirage, dude! Absolutely, right? I hear it immediately. The weapons dealer, am I going left, Oliver, or right?
Yeah, so don't you remember coffee cafe guy with the mohawk? You gave him a really funny name.
The Freyhawk guy. Yeah.
Freyhawk guy, go to him, and then between his shop and between the pub is an alleyway to the left, which you need to go up. There's some stairs.
Yo, if you hadn't been here on this playthrough, I probably really would have jumped off and gone, fuck these cats. For sure. Alleyway to my left. Up here?
Yeah, exactly. Alleyway to your left. And then you want to go back down to the right, so that, you know, you go past that vendor, that shop vendor I was telling you about, then you want to go to the left. At the end of there, and go down. And then you should come out in front of a section where there's just a bunch of people hanging out.
How do you remember this, bro? Oh, do I hear it? Do I hear a kitty? Hear kitty kitty?
Sure, there's a cat.
Oh, I see it, I see it. No, that's a person. A cat? Cat?
Okay, I could be wrong, dude. I could be
There's a
wrong.
dog.
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Turn
You're
around,
wrong.
go back. I know where the cat is. So you want to head down here and then go to your left. Just keep going down that alleyway and head left, and hopefully something happens in the way.
You remember you're like a little bit behind, though.
Yeah, no, I'm basically counteracting that.
I'm out in front of the pub.
Yeah, okay. Turn to your...
If I'm facing the pub, am I
Cloud's
going
right,
left or
as
right?
he is right now. So to the left of where you're coming from. So exiting, basically, head towards the station. That's what I want to say. Towards the station.
I'm just going to wait for you to catch up. I'm facing the pub. Am I going left or right or behind? How many times have Oliver played this game since
Head
the
towards the
release?
station.
How many
So
times
just
have
head
you
towards
played
the
this
station.
game, Oliver? Since the release?
The remake or the OGs? The OG I've played over 15-20 times. I've played through the whole game. The remake here, probably 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4? Oh, here it is. Kitty. Got it. Nice. Good memory. You played this 3 or 4 times? That is insane, dude. Yeah, I agree. It's...
So then there you got to go back to Betty, the little girl, and she'll give you a reward.
Betty.
Yeah,
wow,
just skip.
20 exactly.
So the music, yeah, this game has won a lot of awards for this. It's been recognized for a lot of different things, but the music is fantastic, and the remake of it, it really does just build upon the greatness that they'd already created, really, to be honest, and it's so good. Like,
I agree with Oliver in a certain
They ran
respect,
away?
Mon, that
So, never
we were
gonna
talking
see
about
them
this and
again?
how old we were when we first played the original. And the only thing I remember about this
They
game,
said that a scary man
because I don't
was
remember much
chasing
about it, and it will come back to me as I play through, but I really remember sticking it to my friends who were like, Nintendo 64 is better than PlayStation, and I remember I could always bank on, well, we have Final 7,
Was
and
alright,
you
I
don't
guess.
have anything.
Think of
They would
each
always be
job
like,
as
well,
an
we have
opportunity,
Mario,
not to
GoldenEye,
make
and
money,
Mario
but to
Kart,
build
and no
connections.
loading times.
It's not
You
what
have
you know,
discs.
who.
And I would always be like, yeah, but our audio is better,
remember.
and PlayStation looks
Not a
cooler,
patient
and
teacher.
then I would just be like, well, we have Final Fantasy 7.
Maybe
Because at the
not so
time,
patient
it was
next
like
time.
the best game
Oh boy.
in the world. Everybody was playing it and everyone wanted to.
Barrett should have
And then
finished
also,
collecting
we
his
talked
share of
about this
the money
about
by now.
half an hour
So what do
ago,
you
me and
wanna do?
Oliver.
Head
I
back to the bar?
specifically remember it's like the entry to gaming for me because I went to the library in school and secretly printed out a game guide to this. It was so thick, dude. It may as well have been thicker than any company's handbook.
Dude,
Just
exit the town.
How do I exit? You need to tell me where to
Yeah,
go.
so just head towards the train station. That's all I'm saying, because your next quest is on the way to the train station.
Sweet, gotcha. But I remember printing out that shit and playing it through like it was the best thing in the world. I've never played games like that before, and this was the game that introduced me to it.
You see
obviously
green exclamation mark that was on the way to the station? Not the station itself, but between town and the station is when you go. But if you go directly left at the pub, there's also something happening there, I think.
Yeah, there's a big crowd here.
Yeah.
This boy, this guy.
Stay away from me!
Ooh, red hair.
Settle down now.
Good old Johnny.
Johnny!
Get off me, assholes! I didn't do shit!
Shut up, punk!
Or what, huh? Screw you!
What's
I'm
going
on board with Johnny.
Somebody went
Yeah,
and
dude, he's a
stole some
legend.
jobs donated from a Shinra warehouse. So public security
Tiger
started
the
asking
Karen.
questions, and you know how Johnny gets.
It's because of the reactor bombing, I bet. I could be wrong, but something tells me they're not gonna settle for just roughing him up this time.
We've got to save him, Cloud.
Is he Avalanche?
No,
Dude, did you see
doesn't really
Karen's
know what we
husband?
do.
He was like proper...
but he has his suspicions. And he's a talker.
Johnny's a talker,
Actually,
eh? Do we
you
have
know
to save
what?
Johnny?
Maybe
Do I
I
have to
should
save
go
Johnny or
along.
not?
I'm coming.
Oh, you can decide that in a minute, can't you?
Are you sure?
It's the least I can do. Lead on.
I mean,
Thanks.
they don't hide
Come
anything.
on.
Dude, you were talking hard to call Marcus, and he has to then. When you're about, we'll check it out. Yes, man, check it out. It's such a good game.
Yeah, OG is...
OG is unreal.
fantastic. Yeah.
Do you think this is better than OG? Stol? I mean, you haven't experienced it yet, fully, but...
I think that's the thing. Like, I don't want to make a judgment on remake until I've seen it in its entirety.
Yeah.
But I think the directions that they have taken with the storyline, I will be harsh and I will say I think they diminish the amazing story that they began with. And the reason being is because what they've tried to do with the remake is incorporate the whole of the Final Fantasy VII compilation. And I think that was their mistake. They shouldn't have tried doing that. They should have kept this to a minimum. They should have just continued with OG and then expanded upon OG, not incorporate compilation and...
all he had to do was keep his mouth shut.
I got a question for you.
And then, yeah, because it just...
Anyway, you distract the officers
there
and
are story
something
continuation issues with that, and they really... They've messed up things that they didn't need to mess up. And the story in itself was something that sold. It was what everybody wanted. They wanted to see their characters in the live and in the flesh, and they've gone and basically just taken that opportunity away by trying to make a project into their own and turn it into something different than what they originally started out to do. And that is all fair to say. That's not controversial what I'm saying. They did do that. That's what they did.
Is that who I think it is?
I must admit, I was really hating on this game the first time I saw a playthrough. Talking about it, find a new appreciation. Oh, Monica, I'm going to give all credit to Oliver for that. He's the father nerd here. Holy shit.
It's interesting that you frame me in that light, dude. You call me the final nerd.
You are, though.
As I said to you in the beginning, on my PlayStation you'll find Need for Speed and Crash Bandicoot. So...
But
you can
what
say
I'm
I'm a
talking
huge
about,
fan of Final Fantasy VII, yeah, for sure.
I do remember more than most on this. I haven't done combat in, the last 40 minutes? I've been looking for cats and rats, so... Forgive me for being so shit at this combat. Oh, where's Tifa? Let me use Tifa. Come on, where's Tifa? Oosh! Tifa's like Spider-Man in this bitch. Let's go. Have you seen my red boots? Dangerous. Later. My question to you, Oliver, was, and how you were saying that was, do you think it would have been better instead of them saying Final Fantasy VII Remake, they said Final Fantasy VII Disc 1 Remake, you know?
The name in itself has been a huge controversy.
He's a talker.
And it's an odd part in the story to just start talking about this. We'll just let the Johnny scene play out.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to live?
The Johnny
then
scene.
get the hell out of town.
You got it, boss.
You ain't never gonna see my face again! I swear!
Are you sure about this? It's a big risk.
Do you think that was within the realm of Cloud's character to want to off him off like that?
And them?
Wanted to kill him.
No more.
Gonna do some lurking while I play some Apex. Nice, Mon. Thanks for joining.
Cloud.
Ooh.
You're scaring me.
The dark side of Cloud.
Yeah.
We need to go before they wake up.
Like, it's interesting to see Cloud in this light, and the way they've sort of framed him and representing him. I think it's pretty interesting.
Okay. I mean, one interesting detail I really liked there was the slight noise you heard when he put his sword back in. I'm here for that. That type of detail I'm here for.
I'm worried about Johnny.
So sorry, back to your question. I started talking.
Right.
About Disc 1, Disc 2.
So the name in itself is a controversy. Controversy.
Really
Wow, I can't believe I mispronounced that twice. Controversy.
And
I suppose it's... Yeah. Your eyes.
Do you know what?
They
From the things I've read online, the developers didn't want to call it remake. They didn't want to call it anything because basically the developers didn't want to shackle themselves down to any sort of label or to anything. When they said remaster, that means they're doing a one-to-one of the game. When they say remake, that enables them to have a certain degree of creativity and they can add certain things to it. But that also didn't quite fit into what they wanted to do with the game. What they wanted to do with the game is exactly what you get in the remake and what they've presented to us, which is, in itself, it's not a remake either. It doesn't fit under the category of remake, actually, what they've done with it. They've done a rewrite of the story, and they've changed aspects of the story, which you would not really expect in a remake. You expect additional things to it, but not really. And I think that most of this is really just a big play with semantics. I think it's ridiculous. Look, when you tell people we're going to do a remake, then people expect you to make the game as it was, but new. Use new graphics, use new engines. Let's not play around with words here. We all know what that means when you say you're going to remake the game. It didn't mean you were going to change the storyline. It didn't mean you were going to change the battle system. It didn't mean any of these things. It only means those things now because that's what you've determined it to mean, because the developers of this game felt shackled by that expression and that term. They didn't even want to call the game that. They've admitted that. They said, we didn't even want to call it remake, and calling it remake was a last-ditch effort because they didn't know what to say. They're like, oh, we'll just call it remake.
Is this game different from the original? Yes, Mon, very different. Jeez, I'm gonna let Oliver talk on that one right away. That's your call, bro.
Yeah, well, you have jumped in after some specific points have come by where we've said...
Can you explain what happened without spoilers? I mean, I'm sure she's watched Marcus play through the game. But... Wait, I think I should have been going the other way.
Do you want me to explain it in very vague terms? I mean...
Yeah.
There's not really, there's not really any way you can explain this without spoiling what actually happens in the storyline. Well, what I can tell you is that, in comparison to the OG, you had a storyline within the OG that you have a huge fan base which knows and loves. They said remake that, or redo that, or remaster that, or whatever word you want to label it with. And finally, after 15 years or whatever, 10 to 15 years of people begging, of fans begging, they actually did it. And then everyone was like, oh my god, you're doing it, wow! And so everybody's waiting for this remake, remaster, remix, whatever. And then it comes out, and the storyline deviates quite severely to the OG. So
deviates.
Yeah, it does.
Very good word.
It is the OG storyline, but it's got things layered on top of it.
I don't think
that's the best way. It's like a cake. It's a cake where you've got the OG storyline, and then there's an extra little layer on top here, and it's something else to look at this game through the lens of. Like, this is the funny thing. You know how I told you, man, when that scene of Sephiroth, when he first came out, I was like, oh, I could ignore this, and I'm just going to shelve that and move on. This is exactly what I did.
Tired.
But
same as you.
You know what?
Could use a little something
I could
to
play
take
the whole
edge
game
off,
that way
right?
and just ignore all the
How
new
about
stuff
a
and be
refreshing cocktail
so
made by
happy with
yours truly that you can sit back and
the result
savor?
that I get from
Yeah.
this.
Tifa.
So, Monica,
Yeah,
in
I'm
what you're
feeling it a
saying,
bit
is this
too.
game different from the original?
Hey,
Yes. To answer
do
your
you
question,
think you'll
yes,
stick around
very
a little
different.
longer?
Yeah.
And without spoilers,
Maybe.
maybe you haven't finished this game,
Work for
or
a
maybe
minute,
you haven't
build up
finished
some
the first
savings.
one.
I see.
Because I'm kind of a virgin
In
in
that
Final
case, wanna
Fantasy
head
right
back
now
out
because
and
I
look for more
forgot the
gigs?
original game. It's all coming back to me as I play. And Oliver's, what should I do here? Head out of town? Good idea or no? Like, what's the...
Well, this is it. Basically, you have a chance now to not finish all the side quests and just go into the pub and continue the storyline, which I think is probably what you want to do.
Good idea, right? Or no?
Head back out into town? No.
Cool.
You want to
So,
continue with the storyline.
Yes. Revenge you for completing. Yeah, I don't care about any active quests. So, Monica, yes. The thing with this particular game is, I don't think it's going to be the same. I don't know what the second part holds. I don't know how good's Underground Pinball Machine. I don't know what anything else holds. However,
Need y'all downstairs.
there's basically a massive boss, or the massive protagonist, antagonist, comes up super early, way more than the original version. So it's kind of like the developers have said, we will not redo the first game. We will do it again. It's just a different version or telling of the story, and you're going to need to have played the first and experienced
It's more
everything
complex
around
than that,
it.
Anne. If you don't mind me interjecting,
go for it.
Because the main antagonist of this game initially appears to be a corporation, a tyrannical corporation, which is sucking the lifeblood of the planet and destroying the planet, and it's your job as eco-terrorists to go and destroy this threat.
But it shouldn't take much
And
longer.
then, at one particular point in the game, you realize, oh, wait a minute, they're not even the main antagonist. There's this other severe threat that we need to rid the world of, who's much more threatening than this corporation. So, your expectations are subverted. And they did such a fantastic job of doing that in the original game, that no one in the 90s was even looking at that. No one was thinking of that at the time.
Mate,
that's what happened, and that's what got people hooked on this game, because they're like, what?
Just
What
to
was
interrupt
that?
for a section, Oliver. What'll it be? Something hard, not in the mood? I think you both know what I'm going to fucking choose. Something hard.
It's not like Anthony to walk into a pub and then say, I'm not in the mood. I've never experienced that before.
No, that's a game in itself. That's a fantasy. Oh, we got the cocktail, mate. Shout out to Tom Cruise cocktail. We got fucking Anne Hathaway here. Flipping. What is this? Mako juice with your robot hands.
Well, most people would say something
Cosmo
sweet
Canyon?
right about
Is that what she
now.
called it?
I'm sure they would.
He's so soft though. I can't do it. Cloud is so soft. It's finally hit me. He's so soft. Look at him. He's so
Well,
soft.
He does have feminine features.
He
you're
looks
right.
like he's a kid. Like I want to. I don't want Barrett.
The
Cosmo Canyon. But I want like a bruiser, man. I want like maybe a scar on his face or something. Like I don't want to be playing as a 12-year-old.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Tifa's stacked. And there's no way in hell Tifa and Jesse are throwing themselves at him. Yo, shout out to the pinball machine. That's one thing I remember. Dude, that sword must be so awkward everywhere you sit. Just dragging along the ground. Hitting your bar stool.
Yeah, but if I can go back
Oh,
to what I was
here
saying,
she comes, Sandra Bullock.
the fact is that what the remake does is they introduce this character way too early, and this subversion of expectations has just been completely ruined.
Yeah.
You've ruined a
What's up,
main
Brandon Willis?
factor
Oh, you
of
can bet I'll
the
be pushing
original
hard for a raise.
FF7 storyline. That's basically what's happened in this, and
I agree.
that's why so many people are unhappy with what's happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's basically what the big gripe here is. And I'm on board. I'm
on
board.
board too. I like how they did that, man. Like, we're not going to replay. Personally, for me, I'm not going to replay. I think it was something like ridiculous 300 hours I put into Final 7 when I was 11 years old. So I know I'm not going to replay that. I'm going to replay a game, potentially for as long, maybe. But it's not going to be the same. I'm getting a new experience. Oh, I can go behind the bar. Shout out behind the bar.
You can now play. You can play darts now as well. By the way.
Ooh, don't make me play darts. 180. I live right next to Ali Pally. Let's go. There was a comment just then. Shout out Brandon Willis.
Yeah.
Hi, mate. How you doing? Is this my first playthrough? Wow. Is this my first playthrough? Yes, but however, we have on chat at the moment Oliver, who's my best friend, and he has already finished and played through this game. So I waited for him to finish it, and I'm playing through with him. Darts. This is meant to be the thing, I've heard. What about yourself, Brandon? Have you played this through? Brandon, before? Should I go for bullseye? What am I doing?
Yeah, well, you know how to play darts, don't you, mate? You just got to get down your score. Anyway, just for Brandon and anyone else who's new to the chat now, just giving a quick recap of what's going on. Anthony and I played this game as kids. We love it, absolutely love it. Anthony and I have pretty much ignored the Final Fantasy series in our adult life. We basically haven't played it. Well, I have. I've actually been a secret FF7 fan all this time. But if you looked at my PlayStation now, you basically just see like Need for Speed and Crash Bandicoot and whatever. So I've been in love with Final Fantasy 7 for such a long time. And when the remake came out, I was like, oh, mate, I'm buying a PS4
I'm done with that.
just to do this. So
Maybe just chill.
I've played this 3 or 4 times, absolutely in love with it, and I really wanted to see Ant's reaction to this because he also does have memories of this game. He does know it, and I'd like to see how he sort of deals with this game. That's basically what our activity is here with our playthrough.
Yeah, man.
And we've only basically completed chapters 1 and 2, but I think I hope we'll go right through to the end together. But yeah, this is the first of our little
This is the first of
remake
many
series.
playthroughs. This is the first of many playthroughs. You played it through, Brandon. What do you think? Without spoilers, don't spoil me. Have you played the first one, I'm asking? And did you enjoy this one? Is it up to standard? Or have you not played the first one and this is a total new playthrough for you? Because that's what it feels like to me. I played the first one, but that was a long time ago. Adults is probably the right word, although I don't act like it. Oliver's pointed out there's a big 20-year gap between me playing the original and this, so I forgot a lot. And so that's why I guess it's so interesting having Oliver on board reminding me and basically, pointing out things that I completely forgot or maybe missed. I mean, there's some funny changes I've already noticed. Yeah, you've played both. Okay,
I heard you're
no spoilers, Brandon. What's better, original or new?
I know we have to
and also, to be fair, I've done some very deep dives into the lore just to figure out, what on earth is going on in this game, just generally. And then on top of that, I've listened to a plethora of theories around what other YouTubers and whatever think is going on in the game. So I've got a lot of back knowledge on what we're actually looking at here and where the series might actually head. But there's no real point in talking about that until we've actually completed it, so I'm just going to quell that thought for the moment.
Yeah, man. Yo, I gotta say, one thing's blowing me away is the detail.
They kick you out?
Like the detail, the facial animation. Of course, it's PS4. I'm playing it on a PS5 at the moment. The graphics, the enhancements, earrings, hair texture.
Time to celebrate.
Barrett's slowly warming on me. I still think he's probably the most melodramatic character. I mean, how can you not love Tifa? But
we won't be needing you for this next job.
No, Barrett's out of. He's out. He's out. He's out after that comment. He's out. Fuck! I literally just brought him back in, and now he's out.
Figured you'd say that. Here.
You're a cockroach, mate. He's just stood on you. That, mate, Cloud, not needed, mate. You're not in Avalanche. Don't need you. Here's your money. Leave. You didn't take on our ideology. You didn't want to live as an Avalanche member. Here's your money. Go.
And everyone likes him, though, right? Like, ooh, the ghosts. Ooh, the ghosts. What are they doing? What's going on?
I tried. We talked it over, but in the end, we didn't want to put so much on you. This is our fight.
Jesse, what's the holdup?
But the depth of... Sorry, I gotta look at my phone because the PlayStation doesn't...
No hard
feelings. The depth of character touches, for me, is even deeper than the original, so a tough choice.
After I'm done here, okay?
I'm gonna ask you, Brad, man. You gotta make a choice right now. You played... Well, okay, I'll boil it down easier for you. Disc 1 or Final Fantasy VII
Sorry to keep you
Remake?
thirsty boys waiting.
Which one are you leaning towards, objectively speaking? I completely agree with you. I think so far, what I played through, side quest, I'm not interested in. I really couldn't care. I love the character development so far. Oliver's really talked us through a lot of this and the lore behind it all.
Biggs, slow down. We'll talk later. I promise.
Ooh, Tifa's a little
Sorry,
angry with me.
you were saying?
Her and Barrett.
Ain't no room for error.
Yeah, beef. They got some strong beef.
I mean, fair play to Barrett.
Cloud got outed.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Barrett though. You'd be angry if your missus was kind of keen on you too. I guess that's what's going on.
But he was afraid we'd lean
But
on
yeah,
him too.
Brad,
Dude,
like, I mean,
when I'm at a pub and I'm sitting there at the table, I'm always sitting there with my massive Gatling gun, just ready to pop one up.
Basically, isn't it? Like, here's my gun. Fuck off. Okay, here he is.
It's already been a year.
Fat Badger, Sandra Bullock, and Charlie
Yeah,
Sheen.
you want to leave here, dude. Just get out, man. You've been outed. You're not in the group anymore. Like,
well, that sucks.
do your spat, throw your tantrum, leave.
What's up with them?
What is up with them? Unappreciative. Ominous shadows. So I'm really concerned, but also curious about these shadows, these like Grim Reaper ghosts that keep popping up.
Look to the group outside the pub. Turn around. Go back.
Depth perception is gone. Okay. Look to the group outside the pub. Bang.
Just to the
Here we
left
go.
as you get to the pub.
I have to turn on my iPad to see all the comments though, because they disappear on PS5.
Hey, brother.
It's really annoying.
You from around the way?
I guess.
Dude,
No
this
big
is
man with a
sick.
big gun
Ooh,
strapped
the
to his
music.
right
I
arm?
remember this music.
Heard he set up shop somewhere in the neighborhood.
That depends.
Ah. Clever. Smell an opportunity to make some scratch, do you?
500.
200.
3.
Whatever, man. Let's find somewhere quiet to talk. Walk with me.
Okay. Okay.
The music is
Yeah.
under the pizza, whatever.
Yeah, I remember these leather jackets and these like red drag. Ooh, these boys are they're about town. Everyone gives them the time of day. Shout out to this guy. He's having a rough night, bro. I've been there. Don't let it get the best of you.
This is what I was talking about before. I'm like, we should be protecting the town from these hoodlums and not from rats. Like, this should be the people that are harassing the people at their stores, not rats.
Don't piss off my friend here. You'll be real sorry.
Unless you got some kind of death wish, then be my guest.
Okay.
And where are their swords? Like, I want to see some guns and swords strapped to their backs.
Wait, are they going to try and rob me? What's going on? Am I walking through here?
Yeah, they want to roll you. They want to shank you. Just
well, if you compare the
watch your
makeup
back.
part, I got to compare with me. All the effort they put in the battle system, the story, even the unnecessary additions.
You know
I've
where the
grown to love
bastard's
it.
hiding, don't you?
I think you've kind of summarized it a bit there,
That's
Brad.
what you
I'm feeling the
before.
same way. Maybe Oliver could comment a
That
little bit on that
depends.
as well, because
No, I generally agree with his sentiment. I think that's absolutely true, and it's kind of what I've sort of been touching from at the beginning. It's just like,
Shinra knows
you know,
better than to
you take the good with the bad, and
business.
as I said, like, if you could
Like I give a
ignore
shit.
the unnecessary additions he was referring to,
what would be some
what you
unnecessary
call the character
additions?
developments, you got to keep playing, mate. It's not, we're not there yet.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but yeah. Do keep your wits about you with this battle. It's not that easy.
Is it that bad? Okay, shit. Yep, I am.
Yeah, use your ADB. So
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach Stol, in the building. Whoop, hello.
but yeah, I generally agree with the sentiments. It's
Get back to
both games are
Tekken,
amazing
bro,
in
with that
themselves,
fucking outfit.
and feel nice.
Yeah, Jin Kazuya. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Go on, Stol. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, there's a
Yeah,
grenade.
sorry. You can love the remake for what they do with the original aspects of the game, and it really is just amazing. And the moments where this game pops and where it really bangs, it really does just. If you're an OG lover, it really does, hit home for you. So there's too much to love about remake to hate it. That's basically what it is. There's too much to love about it to hate it.
I agree.
And
Yeah, that's such a good way of putting it. There's a lot to hate, but in reality, there is too much to love. This oh my days, Hoodlum.
Here we go. Big man with a big gun for an arm, right?
Yeah, dude. I told you. Keep your wits about you. Kill yourself.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. Can't wait to play the second part and see how they carry on. Dude, you beat us to it, Brandon. This is the biggest thing, man. Like, I was saying, my one memory from Final 7 on PS1 was the Chocobo Farm and realizing how out of my depth I was when I tried to enter that cave and that big snake came up.
So if they weren't Shinra,
what's really annoying is I know I'm not going to experience that for whatever,
problem.
how many years because of the remake.
On the ground floor. Get
but
some rest.
yeah, I can't wait to see how they adapt this to the open world. Costa del Sol. Yo, that's my apartment, and I'm coming.
Dude, you
for
get
it.
that little basket there?
Wait, do I need to go back?
No, you're just gonna leave?
I thought it was just.
There's nothing important in there. Just carry on. Don't worry about it.
Wait, the wooden boxes. I'm coming back. I'm listening. Got Coach Oliver on the. Ooh, wait, you're talking
Dude,
about this?
what soundtrack is playing right now?
You know you're like a little bit behind the stream.
I know. But what is this soundtrack that's playing right now?
Nothing.
Because initially, when you first walked out into this open world, you had the opportunity to hear the Final Fantasy VII main theme.
Was it?
And yeah, full orchestrated.
Dude, you're
whereas
such a nerd.
in the original, the first time you hear that is when you leave Midgar, and that's a gripe of mine. I've got a gripe with that because the main theme of Final Fantasy VII, I understand why they did it, because they needed to have it, obviously, in the remake, because without it, it'd be like, well, it's the main theme of the game, and you're not going to include it? Like, what's going on there? But I find it, like, in the original, when you hear that song, it's just like, it comes out in this beautiful orchestra, and you're like, wow, I've got such the world to experience now. I can go out, I'm free. This open world feeling. I can go and explore. For them, that music behind it was just like, wow, that got,
I agree.
That got the blood pumping. Whereas to just throw it out here in the slums, it's just like, no, wrong.
I know what you mean.
Wrong.
I know what you mean.
And the slums, for me, I tell you what they're missing. The slums are missing
gonna let me in?
a
So we can
sense
talk in
of
private?
dread, a sense of threat. Something's going to attack me. Someone's going to mug me. Someone's going to roll me. I'm in a slum right now. In the original, you had people walking around with spiky hair. I mean, they were
it doesn't
block
feel
models,
like
but
that.
I felt afraid for myself. I was like, I'm in a dodgy area. I don't want to be walking around here.
You're on the wrong side of the tracks always.
On the right, yeah. However, here everyone is so upbeat. It's so colourful. You've got daylight. This is where remake. It's a gripe of mine. It's a slight fail for me. It's like, no, this isn't the thumb. This isn't the slums. Rescuing people from rats and cats and whatever bullshit. No, I should be rescuing the people from nefarious people from Sector 6, as we just saw. The hoodlums come in, walk in, and want to try and
that's fine.
Hey, look, I'm the Sheriff of Nottingham. He walks in and like, give me your taxes. That's what I expect from these guys.
If I don't deal with this
now,
not what we got.
It's only gonna get harder.
You're right. The slums don't feel as dangerous as they were presented in the first game.
Can't I?
Brandon's just said, "Oh, don't forget the first time Sephiroth or Sephiroth, as we've talked about before, how I mispronounced that as a young
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth, yeah." As I mispronounced it as a young teenager, impales Shinra, it always chills me. Dude, the moment we see his sword, it's like... I mean, here's the question, Brandon, I want to ask you. We don't have any heights, we don't have any character bios on these people. Without getting nerdist on it all, how tall do you think Cloud and Sephiroth is? Sephiroth, I'm saying it now, Jesus. Like, he seems so imposing in this game compared to Final 7, where they're just like, they're all the same character design, they're all the same height, and then you just had this sword which was like 3 times the character design in Final 7, and anything he cut with it or impaled with it. And if you haven't seen the new Switch or from the Game Awards, the new Smash Brothers trailer where he almost impales Mario, he's like the new character reveal, they nailed it because it was the length of his sword. and how sharp it was. I agree. It always chills me too, man. But I wanted to know, like, you think he's tall? What height? I know it's trivial, but me and Oliver came to our conclusions. And what's yours?
His demeanor. He should be a giant, though. I mean, he's infused with Genova cells. I really think he should be a massive dude. But, dude, I think that Brandon just hit the nail on the head.
Awesome.
That summarized how people felt about Sephiroth or Sephiroth when you first saw that sword impaled into President Shinra. It really did give you this sense of dread. And Cloud mentions it. He's like, "Oh, that's Sephiroth's
He's over
sword."
7 foot.
You know,
You think he's 7 foot? I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I said that. I was like, he's over 7. So that you still haven't seen this character up until that point. You still haven't seen Sephiroth, and you should be afraid of him. And as I said, Final Fantasy VII did draw on Jaws, and Sephiroth is supposed to be Jaws. So he's not seen, but you see what he does, and that is the scary thing about Sephiroth, is the unknown. Because the unknown makes your mind conjure up things far greater than anything that the developers could ever dream of. So it leaves your imagination to it, which is what is a brilliant technique, and that's why Jaws was so successful, and that's why Final Fantasy VII Original was so successful.
Now I'm curious if he's real height. Me too, man. I want to know all these guys. Personally, I'm 6'6". Oliver, you're a little bit shorter than me, aren't you?
We don't have any family,
Quite sure.
169 centimeters. I don't do inches.
So exact. Well, you're 169, I'm 197, so there's quite a difference, as we know. But yeah, I feel like Sephiroth is probably really tall. Charlie Sheen, Fat Badger, Sandra Bullock in the house. Cool.
Okay then. Guess you're all invited.
Are we close to chapter 2, Stol? What are we saying?
We've just finished a chapter. We're about to start a new chapter. If I were you, dude, it's just saved itself automatically.
Yeah.
We've obviously got to draw a close on this stream at some point, and I think now's probably a good time to do it, because we're about to enter and embark into a completely different section of the game. Let's call it a close for now, and let's reconvene and schedule a time to continue the playthrough from there.
Well, 3 hours 30 is a good time. Brandon, man, I just hit you up with a follow, dude. Thanks for jumping in the stream. It's really appreciated. Thanks for your interaction. It's really cool to talk Final 7 with some other people, and hopefully you're entertained. But you know, give us a like and a follow. And
thank you to everybody else. I mean, there's been other people who followed us throughout this this video. We appreciate anybody who's watching. Ooh, he comes in with a banging question, a bomb drop of a question right before we're about to go. I have played FF6. I'm a secret FF6 fan. I do really like FF6. If you can get through the basicness of its graphics capabilities, yeah, it is a fantastic story though. It's great.
That's the Pokemon one, right? That looks like
it kind of looks that way, but Final Fantasies 1 till 6 all look like that.
Nice.
All done on Super NES and simpler systems.
Sweet, man. Like, yeah, I know the one you're talking about. I haven't touched it. No, I haven't played Final 6. I'm a Final 7 guy, Final 8, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to pause this here because, yeah, it is time to jump
let's
off.
not go too far.
I don't want to ruin this.
Yeah.